The Belgians will take on Spain Friday in Los Angeles. That's because in the early match on Monday, the Spaniards blanked Portugal 1-0. Cristiano Ronaldo plays his final World Cup match in the loss. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Diller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the ball got to. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. You got to sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Huddled up on a Tuesday. Let's get this club going up. What do you say? 5 o'clock clubbers. Welcome in. Thanks for waking up with us. Drew Olson, Bill Schmid, Armen Sarian. Let's turn it up. We got a lot to overcome today. At least I do.
I like that way of putting it. That's true, Drew.
I've got a triple case of the red ass.
Ooh.
It's a baseball term for when you're angry. When you're angry. Yeah, when you get angry, it's that's a baseball term. It's like you've got the red ass. I don't know where the I don't know the roots of it.
I was going to say, but it's definitely
know.
better to have in the back than the front.
But it is it's a term. Like,
That's
you know, when a manager's upset or an umpire or anybody in the baseball clubhouse, they'll be like, watch out, you know, Armen's got the red ass. Now, Armen very seldom has a red ass. I don't know if he's capable.
His maybe only gets to like a slight version of pink, but
Try to stay positive, try to stay pink, but I've had my moments.
But, you know, carved out last night as a night to stay up late for us by our standards to enjoy an excellent, much anticipated sporting event, and the U.S. men's national team turns in a flaccid, flatulent performance.
Yeah,
it made me feel like I was rewatching the second half of Bears Packers at Soldier Field.
It turned out that we're Tulane.
I
was, as Armen said yesterday, that he was a big fan of these expanded knockout rounds, expanded playoff, expanded World Cup, and it was fun. It led us to a great time. But then I realized, Drew, we're the group of 5.
Yeah,
that was what I anticipated the Rose Bowl was going to be like. What we watched Indiana do a couple of years ago when they got dog walked right up out of that CFP. And then they did the dog walking to Alabama. That was varsity against JV yesterday.
Yeah, the difference was, to your point, Drew, at least we looked good for 3 quarters. Well, some of 3 quarters of that Packers-Bears game. I mean, unfortunately, we were outclassed throughout, I thought. I mean, you had the hope and the glimmer of hope with the equalizer early on, the free kick by Tillman, I think. Really nice free kick off the deflection. That gave you kind of hope, like, okay, we can regroup now. We equalize. Let's see what we can do. But
90 seconds of hope.
Right away. I mean, exactly. That's all it was. A minute and a half. Right away, they give it right back. Just outclassed from the start.
Outclassed, outplayed. Made you think that the Paraguay game was a mirage. That I texted Nags in the middle of at halftime. I texted Nags. And I said, you know, a lot of ball game left, but oof. I said I felt like I was watching Bears Packers at Soldiers Field in the second half. And Nags is like, this is the U.S. men's national team that I'm accustomed to.
Yeah, this is the team we've been
watching for 30 years, right? This is it. Not ready for prime time. It was a complete letdown. So you got that, and you're stewing on that. Now the Brewers won. Uplift.
Great win.
Nice snatchback win in the first game of a series going into a big doubleheader today.
David Hamilton.
No David Hamilton. Queuing Jet Williams to pick up the white courtesy telephone. We'll talk more about that later. We'll have Hunter Baumgart's report. But So the U.S. men's national team loses. So I go to the rack and I'm like, oh, that sucks. We'll have stuff to talk about today. And then last evening, being July 6th, around 10:50, there's a fireworks display in my neighborhood. And it's not just people randomly M80s. This was like an organized, I don't know if it was a wedding or a private gig or what, but there's like a 15 or 20 minute fireworks display, waking me from sound slumber, driving the dog insane, walking on my head, and was trying to
Excuse me, what
back
are we doing?
and forth between the pillows.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? The 4th is over.
Yeah, this is the 6th.
I'm gonna have to this is one where I'm pissed off enough about this.
Let's go.
To check into an alderman, who did this, who approved this, and who has fireworks around 11 o'clock.
And not
Unless
9
there's some
o'clock.
Clement weather,
Right.
about 9 or 9:30. The sun's down at 9. You can do it at 9, but to do it at 10, and if this was a private citizen, I want them brought up on charges.
Oh, yes, let's go. Now, Drew,
15 to 20 minute, come on.
Getting Drew on
what the
my
hell?
side
And there
about
was,
these.
but it seemed like it was orchestrated because there was a finale.
Mm-hmm.
It was in that backyard shows. I mean, I guess some guys have it coordinated. Maybe if you used to work for Bartolotta's.
Yeah, they might have some techniques, I guess.
So, all right,
it's too coincidental to not be a leftover 4th of July.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Said, excuse me, this 4 boxes didn't get dropped off.
They
over
were
so
packing up
at this point.
They were packing up from the 4th of the show, and they're like, "Oh, we forgot this. Let's fire these up because then we don't have to put them on the truck and take them out of here."
Well, we don't have to put them back in the tent. See if we can get them for 80% off.
Friday
exactly.
night wedding.
So
it's Monday, but then again, discounts.
that was the second leg of the red ass stool.
All right.
And then the third leg is I'm driving and I'm collecting my thoughts and zipping along. And again, for no reason, the orange barrels are up in the exit that I take, completely blocked off.
Yes.
Beloit Road.
Beloit.
And then it's you'll be hooking around 43 and getting off on Layton and driving the long way.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You'll
what
be having
the
yourself
hell?
an expanded
For
morning.
no reason. There's nobody working. Just we have these extra orange barrels. We need to put them here and block your
see if
exit
they work.
for no reason. And then that Layton thing is all screwed up too. What are we doing,
it's
people?
Yeah, it's basically Layton Avenue right now is basically like a bobsled slalom. You have to try and figure out the way.
It's insane.
Which is it's not that hard when there's a bunch of cars to follow. But when it's very early in the morning or the middle of the night like us.
Pick your lane. It's pick your luge, your luge lane or whatever. So
I had one of Greenfield's finest redirect me a week ago. I was going in the wrong way apparently.
Whoops.
And he was like,
Jeez,
you gotta go around. I think I was like, all right, is he gonna wonder what I'm doing up driving to 3:30 Ford, whatever it was in the morning? But I don't think he did. I think he kind of knew I was.
He saw baby on board. He knew.
That was a key sticker.
So that was the triple whammy.
Yeah, that's tough. And National's blocked off if you're going that way. So the Beloit and the National exit.
Nightmare.
So you have to go up the
Nightmare
Greenfield.
fuel.
But
Nightmare
they
fuel.
get passed by.
So that's the triple whammy of me being pissed off today. Then
That's a tough start.
I got the group text. This was funny though. I got the group text and I was just heading to the pool. I got the group text about Billy sent us the group text about the Giannis sit down with Mr. Jim.
With Mr. Jim, we had 36 minutes of sit down, and
because I dialed that in and treated it like a podcast. I didn't watch it, but I listened to it while just chilling at the pool, and it was a good listen. And we love Jim Paschke, and it was interesting to hear Giannis. And while that is hitting, and the news is official and stuff, Giannis is on a kick stream with the douchebag Neon, YouTube star.
Handing him pork and calling Malik Beasley.
Handing him pork, calling Malik Beasley on the phone because you want to consort with a gambler. Yeah,
I mean, he had to see if Kalshi was making the right pulls.
You had to give him credit because he's still funny like that.
I think Neon. I would rather watch Neon with the twerps from the whatever that is, the Hype House and Sky Bree, than with Giannis and his brother.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Neon Bordeaux from Blue Chips.
Well,
AKA Shaq.
him too.
Yeah.
But that was weird. It was a weird juxtaposition. Like, while this hits and the earth is consuming this content that was carefully crafted and edited and well done. And of course, it's classy because our friend Jim Paschke is in it.
Mm-hmm.
He's exudes class.
I love that. I'm not gonna lie.
It was done so well, and it was so
and he's
good.
just chopping it up and doing stupid stuff with a streamer. Like, what? Couldn't you have just waited for that? Like, what are we doing, Giannis? Like,
but do you think?
He's not our guy anymore.
No,
he can do what he wants.
Not.
He can take his talents to South Beach. It's their circus, and if he wants to create the circus, great. But it seemed like a weird and rare misstep by number 34, who now might be number 7.
Yeah, apparently he said he might change his number. Now, somebody might want to tell the Miami Heat because they were advertising 34 jerseys yesterday right away when it dropped.
I guess Ray Allen would like a word.
Yeah. He's like, wait, this ain't happening again. This is not happening to me twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Ray.
In two different spots, I'm not getting my 34 swipe by you. I do wonder, Drew, like I don't know that Giannis takes like big advice. Like I think a lot of this is just him
seat of the pants. Yeah.
Seat of the pants, go and do it. And I don't know that there's anything overly to think about it. However, at some point you got to think about some of that stuff, right? Then, like when this kind of a move is being made, not exactly the time to mess around.
The mechanics of it. If I'm the Heat, I mean, I know we just came off the holiday weekend and stuff, but you want them there at the first opportunity to like, oh, I'm going to be there in a week. I'll get around to it when I get back from Greece. Like,
I'm talking to this dude in our clothing store.
We want to give you
not exactly what I would want.
We're about to give you $300 million.
Over $250 million.
Could maybe, maybe you could find time to come here and like show up for our grip and grin.
Yeah, a very, very strange deal. Like very, very strange. And I think you said it right. A rare misstep because it does. Like, is this going to be something that it tarnishes? Absolutely not. However, it just goes into a long line of weird steps.
It was weird that those things happen like concurrently.
Yep.
And then he got catfished by NBA Centel with LeBron going to the Cleveland,
which I thought was good, but
so
it seems like
how are we going to feel about
problem though? Now I wasn't like that's not.
No, that's fine.
Consciousness is the streaming thing.
But Armen, didn't we do the same thing when Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets?
Yeah,
like you watched and consume and kind of talk about still everything that he's doing, aware of everything else that he's doing. Like
I'll be aware of it. That part's true, but I'm talking about like when you juxtapose the Paschke interview with the Neon stream. Like I just wasn't really gonna be on that Neon stream to watch. I guess so. To me, I didn't think of the two together, but it does remind you that Giannis, like you said, Billy, does stream of consciousness stuff. He'll just say what comes to mind a lot.
He doesn't have a filter. That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it is. And that's exactly why, again, it seemed so strange for them both to be dropping at the exact same time. Because one was, oh, sure, I'll jump on your Twitch, on your Kick stream. Let's do it. Have some fun. The other one was a pre-orchestrated sit-down video at the Cousins Center where apparently he went one-on-one against a priest before they went and played. And this was shot like multiple weeks ago, right? It was obviously shot a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, when the trade was done.
And knowing that this was a possibility.
Yeah, you want to be prepared. Yeah,
I think that it was executed perfectly. And also, I thought Jim Paschke, Drew, for somebody that has a personal vested interest in the person that you're interviewing, that can't be super easy. No. Because it obviously wasn't a hard-hitting, let me sit down and drill you with the toughest questions. But he asked them the tough questions that I think Bucs fans, a lot of people were wondering if he was going to.
I think it was cool, yeah.
Obviously, like they were prepared for that. I would imagine Giannis was prepared for that because that's why Giannis wanted Jim. He liked the relationship, and he was okay with those questions. Not sure if he pre-screened them. I don't think it necessarily worked like that, but he has an idea you're going to get questions like this. That's just going to be the way it is. And obviously, Giannis can edit it the way he wants. We have no idea if there was, that was everything. It might have been, it might not have been, but I do appreciate this more than just if Giannis just gave us the video, like I expected maybe like a thank you, a video, a graphic. I in no way expected a 35-minute sit down magnum opus interview masterpiece with all of his thoughts and all of his. I appreciated it. I did. I mean, it's transparency somewhat that you usually don't get from a guy that ostensibly means a lot to you as a Bucs fan. So, I mean, it worked on me. I don't know if like some people are like, I'm not buying into his shtick anymore. Maybe some people looked at it that way and said, I'm not dealing with it, but I appreciate hearing it. That's for sure. And the way I look at it now too, is like, your ex is going to change a little bit when they're with the new girl or the new, relationship, and they're going to dress a little differently and try and act cooler maybe, or try and get into different stuff they weren't into with you. But that's all he's going to be kind of like, maybe that's what the podcast thing was for me, the stream. So, it is what it is, but I guess more that now that you could bring it up, it is kind of peculiar that it happened at the same time. He could have waited. I guess I didn't think about it that way.
Strange. This rubbing elbows with Neon. And that's the one thing, like Giannis he's not at Taylor and Travis's wedding. He hasn't courted celebrity and fame. He doesn't move with the glitterati of the NBA. Right. And here he is with this guy.
I wonder if some of it, Drew, is like he does go try to tap in more with the younger crowd than with, I guess, like the rubbing elbows with the people that have been successful for quite some time and rich and famous. Like I know I saw him on he did some kind of co-op with another Instagram, TikTok influencer who does a bunch of conversations about lifestyle and building wealth and things like that.
Yeah,
and it does
that.
appear
School of
like
Hard
I
Knocks.
think that a lot of it is being more interested in that and wondering if maybe that gets more of a global reach. I don't know. I think it's a little strange. I do think that it was cool to see yesterday the Bucks jump the gun. Phenomenal post as well that they put out thanking him. And it made a day that we knew was coming. We talked about it yesterday. Was going to be weird, was going to be tough. I thought it was all executed very, very well. And now we can move on with number 42, Tyler Hero into the
that's a wild one. And the person, not shockingly, the person who won the day and showed the most grace, Mariah, with her statement and her long little letter and farewell to Milwaukee. That was fantastic. Well played.
Yeah, and call me naive, but I believe it. I believe that the place means a lot to them.
I believe that too. I don't think you don't manufacture that. And it's not like you're not. I don't know that they're trying to. They're not trying to pull one over on anybody by saying this because they don't really have to. It's just been thanks, Milwaukee. See ya. Peace out. Like
for sure.
So,
and I think it also would quiet the crowd that was asking and drumming and beating the drum for why on earth are we not getting the thank you? You got a better one than a sweet AI'd graphic.
Exactly. That's the way I felt.
That's the way.
That's exactly the way I felt. I said, all right, well, it's worth the wait. So
we knew that was coming. Had no idea that the U.S. was going to get served a plate of whoop ass and play a horrific turn back the clock.
Dobler's
now,
excited. Dobler's all excited.
Did the U.S. did the whole situation with the red card rescission, did that anger the sports gods? Did it fire up Belgium? Sure did. Sure appeared to.
Yeah.
Because from moment one, they were down. When they scored that first goal, it was like, poof, these guys are here, not messing around. And then when the U.S. gets the equalizer on the Tillman master stroke, they punch right back, and it's like, oh yeah, this ain't your night. It's like, oh, did that? Would the U.S. have been better off without their leading scorer in this game? Perhaps?
Yeah.
Makes you
No,
wonder.
I don't think so, Drew, because of the outclassing that it was, right? Like, I mean, like that again,
Yes,
it felt
but psychologically, would Belgium have said, oh, they're without their best player? And like, would there have been psychological a little bit of a letdown as opposed to they're screwing us, let's go get them?
sure,
It's the world against the U.S. in this case, because everybody thought it was corrupt.
Yeah, but I also think it's more that they're into enemy territory with 70,000 people that
Sure.
absolutely despise and hate. Like, there's no we hear every athlete in any sport talk about how much more fun it is going on the road than going into your own home and winning that game. But being able to do that, and you saw how excited and how much fun they had silencing and mocking the crowd.
Yes,
that was phenomenal.
I still think there was a layer of it that was tied to
I know you do.
the reversal.
I know you do. And I think that there are some people that might. Like, I think you were getting whooped either way. Like, I think you watch that game. I think they play that game 100 times. Maybe the U.S. gets one or two. Like, again, if you looked at it more, the world rankings would have indicated that.
Yes.
One is a top 7 team, and one is the bottom one in the top 16.
It's probably on us for not remembering.
But
yeah, 100%. We were having fun. We were swept up in the excitement.
Who were the
of it.
smartest guys that don't get swept up? Vegas. U.S. was favored, man.
They also got a lot of money on them.
They still won all that money.
Yeah,
but
the U.S. was favored.
They also had a lot of money domestically on them.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like they put them, but they still put them at plus money for the majority of the time. They were taking all of the bets, all of the money. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. There's a lot of times you watch an NFL game and you're saying, how on earth is that team favored by 3.5?
Yeah.
Wait, there's 80% of the bets coming in on the underdog at 3.5, and now it's +4. That doesn't make any sense. Somebody knows something, and I want to be with someone. They don't lose when they're taking in that kind of cash and that kind of rake on one side.
I'll say this: like U.S. men team was definitely tentative in the back all night. Whether or not that was their best performance, I'll agree with you there. Like I think they could have definitely played better, but I still think, the better team won last night. I think that's just the reality of it.
I still think there's been progress, but this was a setback. And the screw up by the goalie is one for the ages. That was a colossal.
You can't have moments like that.
A colossal, like that was it.
Could have been a foul, but you can't have a moment like
that. Was just a colossal,
I don't know. Like
a colossal screw up.
That would have been the greatest bailout of all time.
Yeah,
that would have been Nick Young missing the 3, turning around, and then them calling a landing space foul.
They played like they weren't a little bit used to the stage that whole night, like a little bit tentative, like, okay, here we are in the knockout stage against Belgium, and all these things are happening. You can't do that against a team like that. They were just way too tentative. On both goals, early in the first half, there was just, I'm not going to get the ball attacking. When you're in the back, you have to attack at balls and clear them, with more confidence. They just didn't have it.
No.
So they just didn't have it. But I think it is interesting that the conversation totally changed the last 24 hours between just the way people wanted to make this about something besides soccer. But to me, it was clearly about soccer in the end. And that kind of to your point, Billy. But
whether he was hurt or just
talk.
Messed up, or Christian Pulisic
had bad game.
Bad game. Like, didn't have a good tournament.
Yeah.
Like,
he wasn't healthy, but who knows?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like he was supposed to be the guy that lifted it up, and he just didn't. He was a non-factor.
You could definitely tell though that there's a little bit better version of American player, right? Like it does seem like they're getting into a little bit different tier.
Yes.
But like this is, and we can have this conversation again in 1,100 days when we get bounced out of the next World Cup and cope and talk about it a number of different ways. But like the big dude that scored the last goal for Belgium, who ran down into the corner, and my man was juiced. That dude's playing for Alabama, right? The guy here domestically that looks like that and is that athlete is playing basketball at Kansas. So there's a number of incredible athletes. And until they all get funneled into the youth program, I don't know that it changes a ton. Right. But my man Ponch was kicked last night.
Yeah.
Pochettino was
he might be done too, because it's like, I've taken this as far as I can go. Someone else can pick it up. And
I was wondering if he was
changed it a little bit.
I was wondering if he was going to have the full Magic Johnson press conference after. Yeah. So how are we going to rectify this over the next 4 years?
Well, that's the thing.
I don't know.
Now,
I'm not going to be here.
I think he knew
with the U.S.
his best, and that disappoints him. That might be his last time coaching this team, and they didn't play their best
quality. Be here.
One thing that will have to be adjusted, and you got to be on your top. You need your stars to show up and all that stuff. But you look at some of the major players that are still left. You play your worst game of the World Cup in the opener and improve from there. You don't play your best game first and then dump on yourself in the
unfortunately blow the absolute wad right away.
It's a little twist. It's a little we gotta go 180. Like you gotta survive your own bad performance and then move on and get better every game. Right. We did not see that.
Let's go. Let's take some notes so we remember them next time.
Yeah.
We'll put this in. We'll put this, going forward into the next World Cup.
We're in the
100-year anniversary.
We're in the same bucket as Germany and Brazil and other teams are like, oh God,
Well, that's the thing. They have more expectations on them than
no doubt.
But the expectations started to grow because we were enjoying this story.
Well, and that's just it. So,
which is fine. That's what makes sports fun.
But those expectations were based on something that was tangible, which was good performances and solid. Like, hey, this is different. When you lose your best player for a half hour and still survive, that's like you're showing some backbone there. And it's like, that was great, but then it just disappeared.
Also beating teams that were not as good as you. I mean, it went chalk. I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
You want to overcome that a little bit, and you dream of doing that. That's the goal in advancing these tournaments.
I don't know, man.
Luckily, we're only 64 days away from football that we actually like in that stage.
Right. If you believe in the sports gods.
Only 64 days away.
Oh, my goodness. That's coming up quick. All right. We're off and running. Tuesday edition. Brewers won. We're going to hear Hunter's recap. Hunter's going to join us live. They're going to need a new infielder utility man. I think Jet Williams might be getting the call. That's going to be a 40-man move that will be necessitated. And we'll talk about all of that as we move forward on the program today. Take your thoughts. We're going to do some buying and selling as well. The NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. Thanks for getting up early with us, 5 o'clock clubbers. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Tuesday in the good land. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app. Live on Facebook, X, and YouTube for the insomniacs, early risers, sociopaths at the health club already.
Cool.
We love you all. 5 o'clock clubbers. Welcome, one and all. So the sobering loss, it doesn't negate what was a great run, and it's still going to be a great tournament. If you watch England-Mexico, which was a great match, one for the ages, one of the great probably one of the better sporting events we'll see all year, England-Mexico, but it might be usurped in the coming weeks by what's to come, right? Because, I think it's going to get better as the stakes get higher. Now,
the games will definitely get better.
No doubt. The U.S. fans the crowds will be reduced on Brady Street in Milwaukee, and all the outdoor viewing parties might be a little bit reduced. And the fact that Mexico is out as well doesn't help. But the World Cup, this is, again, it's an Olympic vibe. Every 4 years, Billy, we had the discussion about hockey. Did that propel that? We're saying, I didn't even look, that were Stanley Cup ratings up this year after? Did they get a bounce?
They were up a little bit, but it ended up.
Did they get a bounce? But it was
there we go.
But everybody, we've been talking about having this debate forever, and I've for years have called soccer the Dippin' Dots of sports, the sport of the future, because my childhood, I was told soccer was going to be number one and that the metric system was coming, and neither one of them
one of them ended up rolling through. No.
Soccer it's come to its level, and look what it can generate. The World Cup is the world's tournament. This is like that, and it's cool, and it's cool to have it here, and it's a big deal even when it's in a far-flung place. But the U.S.'s position in soccer, whereas the women dominate,
yes.
But it's analogous. We are in soccer what France and other countries are in basketball. They're just trying to catch up after all the years of not, developing players and stuff. But we're on the back end of that. So the rest of the world is look at the top players in the NBA, and they're all from far-flung places. Yeah. Eventually, our players will be stars in La Liga and Premier League and, the Bundesliga.
And it seems like you're starting to get that, right? Like you're starting to get, but also I think you're starting to get starter level players, right? Like, is that fair? Like you got guys that, they're in the rotation over here on Newcastle.
Exactly.
And not the best players in the league, right? Where you mentioned France or other European countries, they're probably closer in terms of basketball than we are in soccer because 8 of the last 8 MVPs in the NBA have all been international players.
Yeah.
And it's wild to see David Stern, his dream, play out in real time now. And sadly, he's not able to see it.
Yeah.
But you watch the sport be so international, but still the best league is here. The best league where everybody dreams of getting to is right here.
Right.
There's 8 or 9 different leagues that I think soccer players dream of playing in before they play for the.
So it's been and we don't. The Olympic basketball thing's not a cakewalk anymore. It's a strain.
That's for sure.
That's a 40-year slog. That's about what we've been slogging through. And
a couple generations it takes.
It will for sure. And one of the interesting things about this is the way we approach soccer, and everybody talks about, the best athletes aren't playing. Well, there's good athletes playing, and
there are.
I go Brookfield, Catholic Memorial. There's good athletes on the pitch that could be good football players, or could be good other players. But one of the things that's interesting is look at Norway and the Darling. Look how they're rowing. 40 years ago, Norway made youth sports free for everybody in the country. We're making soccer really expensive at the highest levels of travel ball, and our development is really expensive. And we're creating that. 40 years later, Norway's on the cusp of doing something wonderful in the World Cup, and their sport has been free youth sports have been free as part of their.
And we flipped it around, and our sports went from free rec programs to now those aren't good enough.
Right. Only rich kids can play soccer. Only the Whitefish Bay and Brookfield East, and only the rich kids.
Kind of strange because
here it's the World's game. You can play. They play with crumpled up socks.
Well,
Well, baseball, volleyball, everything can be.
Yes,
but to Drew's point, though, the strange part about soccer being in that conversation, we talked about it with hockey. You got to buy everything.
Yeah.
Right? That's an expensive
Soccer's
sport.
The cheapest sport you can possibly play.
It should be the easiest and most accessible and easiest one to then get the most players into. It probably is everybody's first sport.
Yeah.
Right? It was the first one I played in first grade or whatever it is. But then you start splintering off and you go into a bunch of different ones. But I do kind of think, and I was trying to think about this morning in the shower, where a lot of times I do my best thinking. Was soccer the first AAU sport in America and then quickly got passed by everything?
Yeah, except for some of those clubs.
I feel like the club,
Yeah,
volleyball and soccer were the
like
first ones I remember when
soccer,
I was younger.
like it came
Skiing
from the
and skating.
ethnic clubs, like the Bavarians, the Croatians, and
For
sure,
because that's where the game is
It
rooted
came internationally,
locally.
stuff, right?
Yeah, and that's where it was incubated, and then like we're ruining all sports like
It's
this.
very, very
And
difficult.
it's
It's a whole
become
different discussion, right?
it's a whole different discussion. But Norway made the decision, and again, they're the social democracy or whatever, but they're like, it's going to be free. And lo and behold, here they are on the cusp of doing something wonderful, and they got
That's awesome.
a team that's captivating the world.
They also have a golden generation coming through. Now, whether or not the two are corollary, maybe that's true, but they also have Holland, which is one of the great players in the world, helping them win games.
Sure.
And he saved them from,
that
sometimes
helps.
you need that. It's like the Bucks creating finally a championship team as Giannis being the centerpiece that would take you over the top.
It is just kind of different though. Like again, we see Holland. He's the best player maybe I've ever seen. Right? Like
he's awesome. He's awesome. Yeah.
He's Drago.
And for him to be the best player on that team, you're like, okay, that's one that can carry you when your best player is the second line guy or whatever you'd call him, or just a replacement level player in one of the better leagues. Then it makes it difficult to be able to compete at that kind of level. I would love for the U.S. to get to a point where it is the number one sport, but I can't fathom that.
It won't happen.
When the money domestically is so greater in all other professional sports than it is in soccer.
But it doesn't mean you can't still get better. And I think that's what they're doing. It's just slow and non-linear. But you're right, Drew or Billy. I think it's like you guys both said it. Our best players aren't playing soccer. That's just the reality. But the difference is our expectations and how we judge everything in the United States is, are we the best in the world? That we feel that's what we're judging it on, is to try and be number one in the world, where there has been real improvement over the generations and over the decades, but it's improvement to get to like top 15, struggle to be top 10 in the world. But since we're judging it on, are we the best? That's a high standard to reach.
Well, and granted, Germany might not be the class of this because they're already bounced out, and we're sitting right where they are as well. But like when I think it was Rich Eisen I heard telling the story, when the NFL teams go over to Munich, one practice at the Bayern Munich professional complex, the other one practiced at the Bayern Munich youth complex, right at the development complex. He's like, I would actually argue, I think the development one better than the ones for the pros. He's like, they're training and developing such great athletes with it, where even like their best coaches would then be coaching the U12, 13, 14, 18 team instead of just, the adults who have now been trained and taught the right way and developed in practice.
I mentioned basketball as the example before, where the rest of the world is catching up to the U.S. and like baseball. There are a lot of international players. We've lost some of the best athletes aren't playing baseball anymore here domestically.
Very true. Very true.
And we did not win the World Baseball Classic. Venezuela beat the U.S. in a thriller, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like we don't have that stranglehold after 100 years. So it just takes time. I know. And it's like, we'll never get there. You never say never.
We also can't win everything all the time. I mean, we think of ourselves as like the Duke or the Alabama.
Well, that's not how we want to
I know,
not with that attitude, we won't win everything.
Thank you, Drew.
Hopefully, especially with 250 and everything like that. I mean, I hope we win all the important stuff, like the important wars and stuff like that. Like, I hope we win all the big stuff. But listen, no, in all seriousness, like we think of ourselves as Duke or Alabama, and like we do this with Olympics. It's like, okay, who's our American in any random sport, shooting, archery, whatever. It's just hard to win everything all the time and be the best all the time. When in reality, in soccer, we're more like Kansas State or Creighton or
no, it
is.
is.
We're like breaking into the Elite Eight or Sweet 16 is a good year.
It's a true statement on our sports complex, where like Jordan Stolz, right, has one of the great Olympic starts that you possibly could ever have. And the only thing that people are talking about is, well, why didn't he win the other four events too?
You lost a race. Yeah. What's wrong
with
you?
He didn't shut the box, Drew. He could have went 6 for 6 and won all of these gold medals. So I mean, it was good, but
it's just
two might not be great.
And he just punted his coach. Right, just hurt too.
It's just our American sporting ethos that we believe that we should win everything all the time, and if we don't, it's a failure. Which it's understandable because we're we have a lot of resources, we have a lot of people, we have a lot of power and ability and like field and all these things, but we do win a lot. But it's just like we think about the times we don't win first, and it's like, well, Yeah, I mean, we're not going to win everything all the time.
I will tell you, though, I will be thinking about the goalie pulling the Young Wei coup for a while. I mean,
that was tough.
That's a tough look. Mike and the Dells, 5 o'clock clubber on the talking text line. Belgium exposed the two biggest U.S. weaknesses, the back four and the goaltender. Simple as that, Mike and the Dells. Well, Mike, I will agree with you as well that goaltender was definitely a weak spot.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
My man was definitely a weak spot, and his foot has to be feeling weak today.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be one of the more painful ones to watch. And then they just kept showing it.
Yeah.
Here's a good lesson. Here's terrible. Here's a good lesson in being a fan, right? The levels of losing. So if we would have lost a heartbreaker, let's say we lost in PKs last night, is that easier to take than just getting beat like last night, not making competitive? You make the decision. I don't think either feels good.
No,
and one's definitely more heartbreaking.
Yeah, this one shakes the core of that makes everybody think, oh, we'll never get there.
Yeah, it definitely kicks you down a number of
This one
pegs,
wiped
Drew.
out the goodwill of the last couple weeks.
See, I don't know. I want to talk more about that because someone else told me that. And I'm like, I still have good memories of this team and this run. I enjoyed them. They were packed in South Milwaukee last night on Milwaukee Avenue.
Yeah.
Like,
it blocked off the street.
Nothing's going to take away those feelings, right? Beating Bosnia and winning I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
again,
it will,
you can hold on to them.
I do. I mean,
yeah, I know you're going to hold them.
But it leaves you with just a hopeless feeling.
Yeah.
Kind of. So
well,
just like David Freese left me with a real hopeless feeling in 2011.
That's very true.
I got great memories of the 2011 Brewers. You know how many times I talk about them? Not a whole lot.
But be honest, did you expect us to win the World Cup?
Brewers got you a measure of revenge last night.
Yeah, they did.
We're going to hear from Hunter Baumgardt and his recap. Hunter joins us live at 7:25 to talk about the Brewers, who another big injury that they got to overcome. We will talk about that next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddle up on a Tuesday. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you from headquarters today. We're talking about the U.S. men's national team's disappointing exit from the World Cup stage.
They tried.
Talking about Giannis's exit from Milwaukee and Wisconsin from our sports scene as we turn over a new leaf for the Bucks.
And his entrance into South Beach. Hey, as I watched more Summer League than I had anticipated last night. Braden Burries, I saw him get to the cup a couple of times before I tapped out after the first couple of minutes.
And I heard Cam Jones scored 8 points. I didn't watch. I'm not going to lie, but I'm just happy to hear that.
Boji looked good in a couple of moments that I watched. So I was excited.
Nice. Nice.
We'll hang on to it.
But we're never far from our awareness is the Brewers beating the Cardinals in another comeback. They didn't do much early.
No, I mean,
Rang made an error that, paved the way for the Cardinals to take the lead. Brewers claw their way back and win 4-3.
That was a phenomenal way to be able to bounce back because that error was the only blemish really on Drowan. He has been phenomenal this year, man.
Pretty good. You know who else is pretty good? Hunter Baumgardt. We have a recap from our boy Hunter Baumgardt, brought to us by Import Minded. Take it away, Hunter.
Thanks, guys. The Brewers get a 4-3 comeback victory last night over the St. Louis Cardinals. They've won 5 straight against the Redbirds this year. And they are also 8.5 up on the Cardinals now in the National League Central. Cardinals now 47-41. Brewers 56-33, a season high 23 games over 500. Trevor McGill slams the door in the 9th inning. He gets another save. He is unscored upon in his last 13 outings for the Brewers. He's been really good, really, since those 2 hiccups in April. Chad Patrick with a couple of good innings. He's had a great last 4 games. Shane Drowan battled out there for 6 innings, which was big because the team has a doubleheader today and wanted to save all the bullpen arms they could. More on that coming up in a moment. On the offensive side, the Brewers 4 runs in the 7th inning. That's all they needed. David Hamilton, a 2-run double, left the game right after with hamstring tightness. And Brewers manager Pat Murphy afterwards saying that as hamstrings go, usually they take a little time to heal, so he does anticipate that with Hamilton. We'll see if a roster move is made today before that doubleheader. Now, of course, they'll get a 27th man in the doubleheader today, and I anticipate that to be Robert Gasser, who will likely start Game 2. Jacob Mizorowski gets to start in Game 1. 1:15 first pitch, Game 1 of the doubleheader, and then Game 2 first pitch will be 6:45, and I'll have you for the baseball pregame show before that game, 5:30 until 6:30 this evening, getting you set for Game 2 of the doubleheader and looking back at Game 1 on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee, and of course, our social channels. I'll also join you guys at 7:25 to talk more about the crew. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hunter B.
Come on now, let's go.
At Hunter B on air. He'll be joining us at 7:25 to talk about this. Money's on Jet Williams, isn't it?
I would think so, Drew, right? Like the other reason why is it just gives you a natural reason to bring him up. Like I think that's one of the tough parts when you have a log jam of good players and you're winning these games. Like
what was a couple weeks ago, Cooper Pratt got promoted, and like right after that, Jet Williams hit 2 homers in a game for the Sounds.
Yeah. And then I got Andrew Fisher telling me that on Foul Territory, is like Jet Williams is going to hit big homers for the Brewers in the playoffs. I'm like, okay, well, I like the full of confidence from you about all your boys being able to take over the hot corner. And maybe it does happen, but you need some kind of a natural reason to. The adage and the old statement of you don't lose your job due to injury could never be less true. It's always kind of not been true, Drew. And this one, I don't think it's going to necessarily happen unless he comes up and lights the world on fire, because Hamilton has definitely been finding something. But it just makes way too much sense to bring him up for at least a couple of weeks and get him that full taste with a winning team.
That don't lose your job to injury has always been, like, from the get-go. From Wally Pipp, it was
the most famous one.
Most famous one. It took a day off, and Lou Gehrig had us settle in for the next 2,000 games. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like that's professional sports, and
that's Drew Bledsoe, right?
It's the only way that you're going to be able to continue to grow the sport and continue to grow the game. I'm excited to see. Hopefully, it is him. I was wondering with Miz starting Game 2, because I heard Hunter mention that. Yesterday on the baseball pregame show that he was most likely going to start Game 2. Is there any like rationale to, if you have 2 games in one day, as to who you'd start first? Would you rather, does it make more sense to start him first so then you can try to stock up on the bullpen into the later game, go with your main horse first? Because like, Gasser, it's not like it's going to be a bullpen game. Hopefully he can give you some
length. Yeah, you hope.
You desperately need him. I guess it does make the most sense to have him go and unload your best bullet early and see if you can save up some of the pen.
Yeah, unless you find that there's some sort of weird day-night split. I don't know what else. I mean, does it really make it? But it might. I'm not. Really
I wouldn't even think about the splits. I would think more about the guy, right? Like, which one do you prefer doing more?
Yeah,
sure. I guess
I think that is the thinking though, Billy. Is like if we can get Miz to maybe get you through 6, you count on him for 6 at least, and 100 pitches. Now they've had a string. The terrible timing as always in baseball, but they have had a string of short starts.
Yeah, no doubt.
This last trip through the rotation has been pretty brutal. And so they do need to stabilize. And when you got 2 games in a day, yeah, I would say you're better off having Miz go first. And then,
you could see Hook and Murph looking at each other yesterday when Drone, what did he reach? Like 34 pitches in that inning? And they're looking at each other like, all right, this son of a gun better figure this out because we need to try to get as much length out of him as possible. And kudos to him to be able to go and gut through 3 more innings after it. That was really, really impressive. 6 strong that he gave him last night.
And that's just the soup they're in right now. Is trying to eat up innings,
As pointed out by Mike Vasallo, too, the Brewers are now 500 as a member of the National League, and it took a long time to dig out.
What a great stat.
Great stat. So that was a long time to dig out from that. A little bit like how the Packers had that losing record against the Bears.
I remember
being 30 years to dig out from that.
I was like 11. I remember trying to do the math on how we could finally overcome like a 20-something game deficit to the Bears. And lo and behold, we did it. That's one thing I couldn't believe, as I grew older I remember looking that thing up and doing the math. Like, we only play them twice a year. We'd have to win for 10 straight years. And then we actually did it. So I was like happy about that. Great stat.
Yep.
I felt pretty stupid when they first said it on the post-game show.
And you're like, haven't they played more games?
I thought they meant this year. I'm like, I knew the National League was way better than the American League. I'm like, wow, that's a great stat. How on earth are you 24 games over 500 against? You mean all time? Thank you. Okay. That if I'm messing that one up, definitely time to turn the phone off. Definitely time for me to roll over and go to bed at that one.
Love it. All right, we're off and running. We're going to do some buying and selling as we move forward. Take your thoughts about the U.S. men's national team, about Giannis's interesting day, and of course, Brewers
pork sandwich
and Cardinals. Give a Muslim guy a pork sandwich. That all lies ahead. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. It wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing baseball game you've ever watched.
Terang, line drive, base hit left center. One runs in. They're going to send Yelich around third. Here's the throw. It's late, and the Brewers have the lead in the seventh.
Jeff Levering on Brewers TV with the call. Milwaukee scoring all of their runs in the top of the seventh inning against the Cardinals, 4-3. The final, Milwaukee with the win. They're now 56-33 on the season. This was game one of a 5-game series. There are 2 scheduled for today and tonight. To basketball, where the inevitable became the official on Monday. The Bucks and Heat formalizing their blockbuster trade involving Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis. Interestingly enough, Giannis will wear number 7 in Miami. Number 34 was available to him. And at the World Cup, Team USA's run ends. They get fallen by Belgium in a blowout 4-1. The Belgians will play Spain Friday in L.A. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We're going to tackle what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to down to. Let's go out and kick the tape. From right. Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Dominating a Tuesday in the good land. It's the Huddle. Drew Wilson, Bill Schmidt, Armen Sarian, live from headquarters. And the other member of our cast, you. Smart and good-looking listeners. 5 o'clock clubbers welcoming the 6 o'clock crowd to our party today. 877-794-1973 gets you into the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. And we hope you're having a good morning, off to a good start. Mentioned earlier, my 3-pronged attack of rage.
That's a tough start. That's a
U.S.
tough
men's
start.
national team then drops a deuce in Seattle. Then
Even worse, doubled up a deuce.
Then like unexpected and unwanted fireworks display near my home that lasted about 15-20 minutes, interrupting my REM sleep.
Yeah, we also had another one by our house that was a little bit later as well. I thought they bought them in hopes that the USA was going to win. And
Yeah.
like, well, we bought them. Might as well fire them off.
And then
That's
the
what mine
orange barrels that added 7 minutes to my commute this morning, closing the exit with no warning again. Like you just roll up on my exit and it's like, oh, I guess they're making
Say
me
no
go
one
the long
takes
way
this
again.
one. It'll be fine.
Brutal.
That is one of the more frustrating overnight. Oh, don't worry about it. We'll just close down the entire freeway system for you.
God, I was chapped.
Yeah,
Chapped.
I was looking up, I've been trying to find the term red ass origin. You know, you were talking about
Yeah.
that, Drew. And it just says, dating back to the Babe Ruth era, baseball slang.
It's as
highly
old as
intense
can
player,
be.
Firebrand who hates to lose, tendency to snap. And they said
And
there
it's-
was some guy.
And it's been shortened as many things are, right? It's just it's shortened to now. He's got the ass today.
Mm-hmm.
Not even red ass. We dropped the red. He's got the ass.
There's also a classic playground game called Red Ass. Old school street game where a player who fails to field the ball cleanly or misses a target runs toward a wall while opposing players get a chance to throw him and peg him in the backside.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
kind of like a sting pong version is what you're saying.
I think everyone just calls it something different. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There were times years ago when I first started dabbling in radio
Mhm.
that I would pepper into the conversation stuff that we heard around the cage and in the clubhouse, and people were like, "You should put out a dictionary of all these terms."
That would help. Yes.
Because now it's like such part of the culture, like slump buster. Everybody knows what a slump buster
Everybody knows
is,
that,
right?
yep.
You know, everybody knows that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And we all know how that started. Yep. 100%,
Yeah.
Drew. Yep.
Yes. And so, yeah, between all of those things,
You would have been the first Urban Dictionary.
yeah, that basically was it.
you
People were
could've put it
clamoring
out.
for
We
those
need somebody to let us know what these kids are talking about.
a
These kids.
gajillion sayings that you picked up around, the clubhouse and the batting cage.
You could have put it out underground though, pre-internet. You could have printed.
I mean,
it out
okay, so like
and
I've
sold
dropped
them
them
on
in
the
like
east side.
when playing naked was playing without the use of amphetamines.
Yes.
How are you going to play naked behind Kurt Schilling today? You can't do that.
Yeah, wake up. What are we
It's a
doing?
day game. It's 100 degrees out. You better not be playing naked,
Yeah,
right?
You said
So
100
now
things I didn't.
playing
really
naked
know
is now like I forgot my phone or something.
Yes,
I'm playing
100%.
naked. I'm
Walked
like,
out of the house, not my wallet today.
it's just-
Sorry.
It gets into your brain. It gets into your pores. It gets into your DNA. The stuff that we say.
That is so good. It really does. And I mean, I
Hey,
found
Billy's having another coffee. Oh, you're gonna bean up?
got to beaned
A
up.
bean was a greenie,
I like
which
that.
is like coffee bean, I guess. But bean up is a greenie. That was a word for he's really beaned up, or he took an extra bean today. He's got some jump. He's got some pep in his step.
You do you pick up different things in the lexicon. Now I do wonder if I'm gonna after the World Cup, if I'm just gonna
All right,
call
so
different fields pitches.
pitches for sure.
If I'm just
On
gonna
the
start
pitch.
the entire
Games
outfit.
are matches.
Yeah, and my
Are-
kid always wants to have the full get up. He's got the jersey and the pants if we play baseball. That's now his kit. That is now his
kit.
baseball kit,
Yeah.
and I think that might be it going
Now,
forward.
it's funny because Wags calls runs points, and it pisses off some people that
You'll
are
get
baseball.
Which I think is
purists.
funny because he's a former major leaguer.
Oh yeah, he just
That's
does
the
it.
funniest.
That's
part.
one of his quirks. But okay, so in football, like what terms have seeped in, like pancake block? People know what that
stuff
is,
like
right?
that,
Stuff
yeah.
like
There's
that.
so-
You
but
flatten the guy. There's other things too.
Chime in on the text line.
I
or
think
your
jacked up
comments.
was probably the number one.
Jacked up was from ESPN, the highlight show.
Yep,
Jacked
and
up.
like when you got mossed is also probably the other one. So
Mossed.
both of those are from television,
From highlights.
right? From highlights of guys going crazy and being able to make plays like that.
Now the gambling
How
culture
about
is also
getting mogged
seeped in.
or something like that? There's a lot of things that kids say now, like you get
Yeah.
mogged and all
Mogged.
that, or stunned.
Mogged? I don't know.
Is that mogged or
Yeah,
I don't know, mogging?
Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
something like
I don't
that?
know.
yeah, there is. That's one of your
But that's the thing. That's Gen Z's got their whole thing too.
every
See,
generation.
These
has.
generations just fight on this stuff.
I think your statement on the sports betting culture though, Drew, is definitely the one. I mean, you listen to one of Pat Murphy's press conferences lately. My man's dropping in different references all the time. But I think it's just because it's become so part of the lexicon and part of the culture. Although it has been there for quite some time. I found a YouTube channel that was tying together all of the 1996 Packers games and like different.
That was awesome. Drew, Billy sent me this thing right away. He's like, "You better subscribe to this channel."
Don't worry, this is the greatest thing that you're going to find. And that Tim Van Voren standing out on the field before the
the local
96
news.
NFC title game, referencing the point spread in 1996. It's been happening for a while.
All I said to myself was, "Man, someone put all my VHS tapes
So-
on YouTube."
They found them all.
There's posterized. You put on a poster.
Oh, yeah.
For the NBA.
I mean, there's just so many we're probably not thinking of. Just
There's a
chime in.
gajillion
If
of
you
them.
got them on the text line, chime in.
I mean, the
in
kids
comments.
today now chopped. You're ugly. You're unattractive. You're
And that used to
chopped.
mean something totally
Used to be
different.
Totally different.
Totally different.
Used to
yeah.
be
Totally different.
Oh, there used to be a music term where a song would be chopped and screwed, and it would be like a slowed down remix and stuff like that.
I still think the craziest one for me was when
Busted.
coaching football, I found out what za meant.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I
not
thought-
pizza.
I thought we were getting pizza.
It was when I was in college.
That's not apparently what it means now.
Okay.
Definitely not what it means now. So you start picking up, okay, we flipped that complete different wording and meaning around.
I didn't know cake meant something different.
Yeah, it means something
You
totally
know?
different.
Totally different.
I
Totally.
thought
Eating
you know,
cake is not a birthday cake anymore.
That's what I thought.
In
I
a
was
birthday
like,
suit, maybe.
Maybe.
pound cake, pound town. I don't know. It's different stuff. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah.
Different stuff. Well, different stuff going on. There's certain things I didn't know about.
Alrighty then.
Also, you guys got to remember, I was kind of like naive growing up, and in a way, I still am. I shouldn't say was, but
You're
growing
Billy
up,
Mumphrey.
kids were using
Cockeyed optimist.
terms that I didn't know about because I wasn't in the subcultures like you know,
Yeah.
like you bad kids were.
877-794-1973 gets you to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. It's a buy or sell day. We got some buy or sell propositions. You buying or selling that Armen is still naive? I'm buying the hell out of that.
The hell out of that. Yeah, you got me messed up if you think I'm not buying that.
Go ahead, Drew. Billy. You have
Well, I was going to say, are you guys buying or selling the new Diana Rossini cruise ship videos and photos that are flying out? This story is not going to go away.
All right.
We got 64 days away from Mike Vrabel's Patriots kicking off against the Seattle Seahawks in a rematch of the Super Bowl. And I thought that game wasn't going to be the leadoff because of this. So because they didn't want for 2 months people still being able to bring this up, but apparently luxury cruise with the boys and the husband.
First of all, I want to say kudos to them for not giving up. Hey, kudos to old boy for not giving up. Everyone's making fun of him on the internet.
I know I'd say kudos, but yeah.
I give you credit. But the second thing is, I asked you guys this morning, all the other pictures were these long-range telephoto private investigation. Why are these such good quality? I mean, one of them, they're like walking in front of the camera. Do you think they wanted these pictures out? Is there a sense maybe?
Well, they're in public, Armen. They're in a cruise with 1,000 people on a ship. That's tight quarters on a cruise. Like you can get close without being obtrusive.
You just know you're going to be the object of everyone's eyes.
You're not at an exclusive 10 bungalow facility.
Yeah, you're not at the.
You're standing in line for food like everybody else at the, and this is a pretty high-end cruise apparently. But
and how do you, can you imagine the energy rushing through you when you just step on that regular cruise ship, Queen of the Seas or Ocean of the Seas or whatever one of those ships are? You're in the ice cream line or you're in the burger line, and all of a sudden there's Diana Rossini, and you're like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Is this really happening?
Yeah, and then that's how you snap a picture. And
can I sell them? Can I do all these things? Should I talk to her? Should I ask her? Should I try
is she
and help
that?
them out?
I guess you got to be kind of a hardo to recognize her. Like most people,
way.
They're just a couple.
You think so?
Yes. Armen, we're sports nerds. Most people don't know who Diana Rossini is.
Maybe, I would think every NFL fan knows who she is.
No,
she's the
not by sight and not on a cruise in a one piece.
I think a lot more would know her now. A lot more would be able to pick her out now because she and her on pictures have been circulated all around.
And there is spin.
And they're also, that means they've been on a ship. That's a captive audience. That means everyone's figuring it out, and they're going to come up with ideas to snap pictures and have conversations and get on video.
Here's a tweet. Like,
don't you think?
I don't know if this is a
because it could go viral, and that's what matters to people.
I don't know if this is a bot or not, but there's a tweet with a 4-pack of pictures of their cruise, and they're on vacation. Diana Rossini is rebuilding her marriage.
Oh my gosh.
She was spotted on a luxury cruise with her husband and sons just months after photos emerged of her with Mike Vrabel. She blew her husband a kiss across the pool, dancing to Katy Perry, smiling. The Vrabel scandal cost her job at the Athletic, but she's still fighting for her family. Will this marriage survive?
Is that performative? I mean, I'd never blow a kiss across a public pool.
Wow.
Is that not even me? I mean, is that a little performative? I'm just wondering. I have a lot of questions about this, but maybe I shouldn't care so much. I'm not really sure. If
I
probably should.
Yeah, but I do think that, listen, there's a reason why we watch reality television. Like, there's a reason why reality television draws as good of a number as it does in the U.S. I am though a little surprised that that people are going to continue to try to feed it and give it more legs, because it has been kind of dead for a while. Nothing has broken new in terms of it being a football story or much of a personal story. So I think it's definitely going to quiet down. Outside of Vrabel and his wife walked around at the somehow they got the invite to the big wedding this past weekend.
Yes, indeed.
That's a nice social capital invite.
That was a big social capital event. You better believe that.
Did that get him out of the Chateau Bow Wow, taking his wife to the wedding of the century?
I gotta think more than buying the airport sweatshirt.
Yeah,
I gotta think getting dressed up. I gotta think getting dressed up and going to the wedding at MSG was probably a little bit better than that $60 Hudson News sweater.
You know what? And it's funny because as go these things so often, there is so much we don't know about it. Like maybe they're all doing a lot better than we think they are, that we think they should be. Maybe this is, you just don't know. I mean, we assume it's a train wreck, but maybe it's not. Maybe she wanted a blue sweatshirt and she texted him, said, pick me up a sweatshirt on the way home from Hudson News.
Yeah, that could be. Anything is possible. I like Matt in Sussex on the Talking Text line. Armen, I was in the same store with Kevin Harlan this weekend, which I thought was exciting.
That is exciting.
And I thought everybody would know. But a number of people who I found out don't know who was. It was surprising. Sports nerds are different.
They are. Yeah, and it's like, Armen, you live on X even though you've been hacked. You're going down with the ship.
I've been totally eliminated, by the way.
You've been totally eliminated. Now you're going to have to get Armen's burner. Your burner is going to have to be your new account.
Well, luckily, Armen's nipples has got all those followers still.
Yeah, it hasn't been active for years.
Coming soon, Armen's new X account. But you live that. Okay, so can you make a case that in the NFL food chain, pre-Vrabel scandal, Rossini and Mina Kimes were kind of like similar similar profiles,
Aaron
right?
Andrews, maybe
for similar Q ratings, right?
Okay.
But Mina Kimes and her husband and kid could be walking down, at the St. Aloysius festival, getting a beer next to you, and you might not realize it.
Yeah.
We think you would, and you are hyper aware of it because you're in the sports media and you're a nerd.
Right. And
but in the general populace on a cruise of a 1,200, we overestimate a lot of things about sports and stuff. Look at the Brewers among us.
Oh, for sure.
That's a good point. I saw Knipple at Cops, and no one else could
and
recognize him.
he's 6'8" or 6'10".
I was like, but yeah, but my point is, I don't think anyone else knew it was there.
But those guys, but Sal Frelick with a hat on at Valentine Coffee Roasters,
sure, looks like me. I get
can mix in with everybody else that's under in their mid-20s, right?
Yeah, you can be anonymous in certain spots.
You're not as on display as people think.
Well, and also,
but it only takes one person to recognize you, and then there's a general awareness growing.
Sure.
But it's not.
You might be right about that.
It's also different when you're on TV every day, right? Once she went to The Athletic, she was no longer on ESPN every morning, right? The folks that are on with Greeny on Get Up, there's a better chance. Like Kimberly Martin, I think, is the NFL lady that would be in that same vein. But I think she could walk the streets of New York, and a lot of people wouldn't know who she was.
Share the press box a lot with Dan Graziano when he was a baseball hack, like the rest of us. And when he was writing no one could pick him out of a lineup. Now I'm sure he gets more recognition, but it's also.
But it's not.
It's not overbearing.
I think a lot of times
you're making him sound like Schefter, where you can't take a shower. They can probably go and get a waffle cone without people knowing exactly who it is.
And a lot of it does have to do with the post scandal, so maybe that was part of it. But I guess I just was surprised.
Much more visible and much more identifiable now that her picture and her mug has been on television.
And the amount of pictures that came out after, people were sitting on these pictures not realizing. Maybe that's more to your point, that they didn't even realize they were around Diana.
That's the thing.
But I will say this too. I think a lot of times what happens is you see one and is that really them? You do a double take because you don't almost believe that that's a real person in the flesh walking amongst us. And then when you realize they are, I remember we were at the Super Bowl in New Orleans, and I was walking around New Orleans, walking on the street, and past Mina Kimes doing something on the street with Jaden Daniels, an interview or something. And I remember thinking to myself, would I have recognized her if we weren't all here at the Super Bowl and I had my eye out for famous people? Which I did.
Which you did. You were hunting to try to find famous people.
So you probably, to that sense, you're right, Drew, I guess. But I do think because it's a cruise, all right, once you realize she's on this ship, and then you're keeping an eye
on a ship. Everybody's dressed the same. They're all, shorts and flip flops. It's not a.
Here you go. Brewer Mike said, I saw Woody yesterday at Gray's Coffee. Yeah, but Brewer Mike, you're an expert. Amongst us. Yeah, that's kind of.
Intense. Did he ask what I was doing?
Yeah, well,
come on.
Waiting to hear. But he's also a brewer's expert and an usher and all these things. So
if you're hyper aware, right?
Derek from Whitewater, I wouldn't have a chance of spotting her out in a cruise.
I still think my favorite is
Derek. You'd have a chance.
Is the what do you mean?
I think Derek might have a chance to recognize that's Diana Rossini. Derek seems to be aware what's going on. That's what I mean.
All right, so locally.
What you think I meant?
And it's just when it's out of context. It's like seeing your teacher when you're growing up, at a Kohl's or something.
For a long time, Drew thought they lived at school.
Freaked you out, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But let's take Sophia Minnaert going to get her coffee or something. It's like she's on TV and she's in your living room every night.
Yeah. Well, and again, she's on your television.
Yeah.
That would be even more different than the lady that's on the podcast that maybe I listen to, or maybe once in a while.
Yeah.
But you're right. If she's wearing a hat and sunglasses, you might walk right by her and have no idea.
Exactly. I'm on TV once a week, and it happens to me once in a while.
Right.
I'm not Diana Rossini.
But your hair's better.
National scandal.
Right. That's again, that's the deal. If the New York Post doesn't have your picture up, I think
you haven't made it.
I gotta be. That's true. You don't want to be that famous. You don't want to be famous enough that the Post even knows who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got recognized once.
Yeah, but they thought you were Sal Frelick. That was the problem. 877-794-1973. A couple on the words and phrases that are different. Justin in Jacksonville, you're right. Raw dog today means something completely different than it used to 10 years ago. It means just sitting on a flight, not doing anything.
And I realized that when I was talking to Billy about raw dogging it on a flight like you're going.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't trying to get the FCC. There are way too many people making way too many lawyer decisions. 715 Drew said though, pitchers in baseball now will say I folded him when swinging and missing on a curveball in the dirt. Is that a fact?
Yeah, I don't hear pitchers really bragging about that very much.
Well, maybe the kids are.
The one that we do have to change is the charging of the mound. Wilson Contreras the other night did not charge the mound. He yelled across the field at the guy that was on the mound. Yeah. Charging the mound is what happened back in the day, running and trying to take someone's head off. Us generally milling around and then waiting for 5 guys to pull you back. That is no longer charging the mound. Let's get that one up out of the lexicon.
What do basketball players say now when you cross a guy and he falls? He dropped him?
Breaking ankles, dropped him.
Yeah, but he dropped.
Or barbecue chicken, your Tyler Kolek.
Barbecue chicken, baby.
Barbecue chicken. Classic.
I love that.
When we come back, Scott Dolphin's going to join the party. He is our halftime correspondent. We'll get his thoughts about the disappointing performance by the U.S. men's national team. Kind of like throwing a cloud over a wet blanket on a great party and a great run.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
It was a dissatisfying. It's never going to be satisfying if you don't win the whole thing. We know it's always disappointment, but this was a unique circumstance last evening in Seattle. We'll get Dolph's take on it. We want yours, 877-794-1973. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Halftime of the Tuesday edition of the Huddle means we get to chat with Scott Dolphin from FM 106, country station down the hall. Hello, Dolph.
What's up, fellas?
Well, not our daubers. We're bummed about the U.S. men's national team performance. What a letdown after an uplifting couple of weeks here. Just got rug pulled.
Even if they would have lost in dramatic fashion, which, at least we expected a really good game, the way that thing fizzled out early is what let the air out of
It's been a long time since they've given up more 4 goals in the game.
I was gonna say, well, I thought it was only like in FIFA. I thought that was only on the video game. You were giving up 4 goals. It was like they were hitting empty netters at the end of the game.
Yeah, they got smoked. And a lot of uncharacteristic errors. So if you had to compare that to a football score, it would be like what, 44-7 or something.
Pretty much.
Well,
Yeah, well,
I scoring this tournament really.
There has been, yeah. And Dolph, I mean, I said it like, oh wait, we were James Madison.
Yeah.
Oh dang, we're the group of 5 champion that came out and got really, really excited to go get absolutely mollywopped. However, James Madison's probably the wrong one, because my dumb self was the guy that bet on Oregon minus 20.5 and watched them score a touchdown with 14 seconds to go and cover the number. We couldn't even cover the number on the back door.
Who was the other one? Tulane?
Yeah, Tulane. They got run.
Tulane got run
through by
so maybe we were the Green Wave instead.
Maybe.
People are always talking about blue or red waves. It was apparently we were the green wave. Apparently we were the green wave, just getting titled right up out of here. That was a tough result.
The thing is, we had the free kick goal, the equalizer. That really gave, like, okay, there we go. We're right back in this. We tied it up. This is our moment. Here comes the crowd fired up. And right away, you give up a goal. I mean, that was just a backbreaker. I think if that didn't happen, if you could find a way to get to halftime, maybe they're tied. Yeah, you can circle the wagons and keep it tight, and then there's a totally different game late when the favored team has the pressure to try and come through.
I still think, not that they needed it, Billy. They were walking into a cauldron like England and Mexico, right? But
for sure,
Belgium was a little extra fired up about the red card.
Sure were. I think people forgot that they were good too. I think that was a big factor.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier in the week, where it's not like you can't compare it to hockey because the United States produces some of the best hockey players in the world, right? I mean, we know that with our gold medal game. Guys that are consistently drafted at the top. What was it? The last couple of years, they've had, Austin Matthews, I think, was the top overall pick.
He was the number 1 overall pick. Yep.
It's really not the same thing to look at World Cup soccer and say we've got some of the top guys.
The best league is still here, right? Like in the NHL, the best league is still here. Everybody's still trying to get to the NHL.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. MLS like the 9th best league. Like I guess I don't know where it would be.
Probably
might be even lower. Like it would be if you go through different levels of it in Europe. But there's certain stuff to it of if that money domestically would raise and we would include it into the major 4, then you could maybe see guys stick with it a little bit more. But I don't know.
We were saying that we are in soccer what the rest of the world is in basketball, where they're catching up, and it's no longer a cakewalk for the U.S. to win gold medals or international competitions. Because the last 8 MVPs have been
all international
players. So we have to catch up the way the world did in basketball. It just takes time. And it's been a long time. It's been a long slog, but it's a lot of work left to be done. And I was pointing out that Norway is now the darling for many of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And like 40 years ago, they made youth sports in Norway free. And here we are. Soccer is one of the more expensive. Soccer and hockey are 2 of the more expensive sports.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of the, to play.
And soccer being expensive blows my heart.
I was going to say the same thing. It's a damn ball.
Absolutely. Exactly. You need the least equipment.
The easiest one.
Yeah. Soccer and like basketball.
Yes. And they might be the 2 most expensive.
And
spot on.
And now, baseball should be cheap too. And it is in Puerto Rico and Venezuela. But here, when you got $300 bats and $500 bats.
You can't get a cheaper sport than soccer except for maybe cross country. I mean, that's
that's the bigger discussion.
You
is how
you don't need any equipment except a ball.
Yeah,
and that's why every country in the world can play it. Literally,
yeah.
There's no other sport that every country in the world
play
can
in the alleys and the favelas with T-shirts wadded up and don't even have a ball.
It's true,
100%.
That's all you need. I mean, even in the poorest Latin countries where they play baseball, you still need some things. You need a bat. You need. I know that they hit bottle caps and stuff. I guess that's one that you can compare to.
It might get better.
But to get gloves, to get all these things, bases, I mean, I don't know. It's just different. Even the time counting up. All you need is one guy to start a running clock somewhere of 90 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the reason for it.
We need maybe it exists in this country. We need those elite youth camps like they have, like the Brewers have in the Dominican Republic, for example. You know, starting kids at 14, 15 years old, and
feed them and get them, weight training, and there they make them go to school.
I was gonna say they start kind of learning some kind of English and start domestic. I also think I heard Landon Donovan talking about it one time of like the developmental program, like you just mentioned with camps, Dolph, of if you are an American athlete, you hit a certain point, your first goal is I'm trying to get a scholarship, right? I'm going to get free college to go here. Well, if you're going to play in the NCAA in soccer, well, you're probably not playing for the national team, right? Like, because you're way down here at this point. Exactly. You're going into one of the training programs that's going to be overseas at 15, 16 years old. And until that, changes here, I just don't see them raising themselves
similar
the
to
floor
hockey
where they're
with
at.
the junior program, right? You're going to play juniors, or you're going to play. You can make it through the college ranks and go to. But it's still
tougher.
A gateway, but it is not as common yet.
Well, and Drew mentioned with Norway, how their youth sports are paid for. Look at the Olympic committees around the world. A lot of those athletes are getting a free ride for their country. Not always the case here. I constantly get fundraising stuff in email and even in my mailbox, old school at home, from the United States Olympic Committee. They're trying to raise money because apparently not everything is paid for.
Well, especially the smaller sports that aren't like revenue producing. Maybe come up with some crazy like biathlon, archery, I don't know what, but those are the ones that usually don't have the funding. And you're basically on an individual pursuit to glory and greatness on your own.
On your
trying
own
to
dime.
self-fund, self-do all these.
That's
the reality of it.
You gotta buy your own 22. Is that what they shoot with in the biathlon?
Good question. I have no idea.
That's a great question.
That's my fault for not knowing. That's my
no
fault.
idea.
You know what? You want to get me interested in the biathlon? Make that thing like a 30-aught, like a deer rifle, a slug that can bring down an elk. Boom! One of those things.
I'm with you, Dolph. We raised the stakes a little bit, and I might be a little more into it.
Don't hit a little metal target. Just obliterate something out there in the middle of the meadow as you're skiing.
One shot of Jack Daniels and then really spice it up a little bit.
That's right.
I saw one site that said we're the 12th best league, by the way, MLS. I don't know if that's
12th
accurate.
best?
That's one
12th
site.
best sounds about right.
I was gonna say, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Like, I did kind of think I might have been overestimating and putting him in the top 10.
Yeah, we're
Depending on the year.
we're in double A. I
guess we
100%.
double A.
100%.
Doesn't mean you're not getting better. It just
Now-
takes time.
No, but we're the MAC.
Justin and Jacksonville, reflecting what people were saying last night, is the U.S. men's national team is James Franklin at Penn State. They throttle teams between 20 and 40, but when they play somebody good, they get exposed.
Just get run through and exposed.
Yeah,
That's a good
exposed.
one. That's a good one.
So where were we last night? I saw the ranking flash on screen at one point. We were like 17th or 18th. Is that where we were?
I'll look up the current
World
FIFA
Cup
rankings.
And Belgium
Sponsored by
was
Coca-Cola.
8th or 9th, I want to say, is what they flashed up there.
Yeah, I think they're
on Fox
7th
last night.
now.
25 years since we made it through to the quarters, so
Yeah.
spinning your wheels a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So we're looking for progress. We thought we had some, and now people are jumping off the bandwagon. Now people are mad that they kind of like
there's a lot of people that are mad that we wasted our time on that one. Yeah, 100%.
That's silly to me, though.
I agree. There are people crying in the crowd last night.
Yeah, it's bizarre. So then yesterday, juxtaposed against that, Dolph, we had Giannis with his farewell and the Jim Paschke interview and Mariah's letter and their farewell. And meanwhile, he was streaming in Greece and doing some weird stuff in Greece with the neon.
A strange
personality on Kick or Twitch or whatever they were on, and that was weird, and seen clips of that. Meanwhile, back here among the Tire and Strip Club ads, the Badgers unveiled their AD today. Sean Eichel gets introduced today.
Yeah, and he's got a pretty nice resume. I mean, if you look at where he's been, and it all started at UW Whitewater, where he was the captain of his football team.
Which we like to see.
It's funny too, because in the immediate aftermath, people were like, "This hire sucks. He was terrible at Nebraska," and it's like, okay, but yeah, it's like he missed on a coach, right?
Yeah, and I
fired Pelini. It's like, okay, that missed, but then
pretty good at Miami.
Worked
Jimmy
out
Larinaga
pretty well at Miami, and then I also think
Texas.
the time at Texas is a big one, right? Like what they've done at Texas and the kind of big boy donation funding that you are working there is
probably the
what
biggest, right? When it comes to the
there's
Longhorns.
no question. And the thing is, like, okay, when he was at Nebraska, that's a different universe now than as opposed to now. Of what the landscape is. It's like that's a completely different industry.
Pelini also won, 9 or 10 games a year, and it was the alumni base and the fan base that decided that wasn't good enough, right? And continued to beat the drum, believing that you had to get somewhat better, and he was the guy in charge with doing it. Now, did he hire Mike Riley? Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Like that, I think, is the bigger misstep
Yeah.
than the firing, because I think everybody was begging for that down there.
Iowa fans got a big kick out of it because when he fired Pelini, they were comparing Nebraska to Iowa, and he says, well, you have to look at where Iowa is as a program, kind of a slight to the Hawkeyes. And then he was gone a couple years later, and Iowa's beaten Nebraska.
I was going to say, they haven't beaten them since, have they?
Once out of the last 11 or 12 years, something like that.
Hawkeyes are just that Halloween night. I just hope Kinnick is ready. I saw Kinnick a lot this weekend. I was watching a lot of Savannah Bananas at Kinnick Stadium.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of looks over at the Hawks.
They did the wave, right, to the kids' hospital.
They did a late version, Dolph, because they had, I think, like a 2.5 hour lightning delay.
Oh boy.
They finished that banana game past midnight. That was a hearty Hawks crowd that was hanging out there late into the Kinnick night.
By the way, wasn't Pelini kind of mid at like Youngstown State? Wasn't he just kind of like?
Yeah, he was okay. He was okay. He had some good teams. Like, I mean, they had some nice teams. Now they did get their doors blown off by Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship.
Again, nobody wins all the time. So when there's a coach that underwhelms a fan base that's entitled and thinks they should win a lot, they want that guy, quote unquote, held accountable and fired. And when he is, and then the next guy's not as good, it's like, why'd you fire this guy? Because you're all complaining that you want him, quote unquote, held accountable, which is not a real thing, but any other manifestation of reality other than firing somebody.
Things changed for Nebraska when they joined the Big Ten. Clearly, it's it's just a whole different animal.
Well,
and they thought 9 wins a year simply is not good enough, even in the Big Ten Conference.
They still were Tom Osborne.
But like Drew said, though, it's a completely different universe, because that universe involved the Big Ten West.
Yeah.
Like, so
Good
that
point.
there's a big reason why these look a lot different into the scheduling.
The legends and leaders, right? When Wisconsin beat Nebraska.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which I still thought was a good name. We needed to move around the geographics of it, but I liked where their heads were at with legends.
From the 715, buy or sell that the new Wisconsin athletic director brings back baseball. I'm selling the hell out of
We've been
that.
getting.
There's just never going to happen.
How much can I sell that for?
People have been
Never gonna
asking that
happen.
for 35 years. It can't be more unlikely than it
Yeah.
is
I've got
now.
bad news for you. They're going to subtract sports before they're going to add them.
Exactly. They're going to turn clubs sports into club sports.
Yeah, and that's not just the University of Wisconsin. That's
The
that's
non-revenue
universities
sports.
across the country. If that's going to
Non-revenue sports are going to be club, basically.
It's going to be very, very
eventually.
difficult to. And we're talking about it with U.S. soccer. That's going to potentially really hurt your Olympic training ground, right? Because like universities and college sports, they are the feeder for the Olympic teams in different Olympic sports. But and if that kind of goes away and that money starts drying up, it'll be interesting to see how that development continues.
It is funny because in the new one of the proposals with the players union, MLB owners want to like force more. They want their minor leagues to be funded by the NCAA the way football and basketball are.
How
Like,
the heck did they get this racket?
Why are we paying these 18, 19-year-olds when
We shouldn't have.
NFL doesn't have a minor league that they have to suck up a
100%.
huge portion of their their income to float?
That's where people just kept asking, why did the NFL just not buy the UFL and make it a training ground? Well, why would they? They have a great one here in the NCAA, which is like the third most popular sport in the world.
A little more popular than the UFL.
There was a story in the Athletic the other day about guys like Omar Narvaez. Remember him?
Yeah.
Playing in the Mexican League now because there's no room for guys like that at AAA because AAA is all young guys on the rise and cheap guys and guys that have big league experience that could probably help major league teams. Used to be
For
guys
sure.
kicking around in AAA. Not anymore. They don't have room for them anymore because they shaved down like a third of the minor league teams.
I was going to say,
gone.
120 of them or something like that?
The guy who made the last out for the Cardinals last night was playing for the Milkmen a couple of years ago.
That's crazy.
Unfortunately, yes, there's going to be less teams, especially in college, like you said. I mean, I remember Marquette dropped wrestling in 01, and people still ask about Marquette football. Obviously, football
Undefeated since what
it's
year?
the same thing. The questions about Wisconsin baseball are no different than when my dad or another old guy will say, when's Marquette bringing back Warriors? It's not going to happen.
Never going to happen.
Just stop. It's over.
They try to get Bud Selig to fund the baseball program there, but then you'd have to add a women's sport.
It's a Title IX deal.
You'd have to add another
It's
one.
a
And never
Title
gonna
IX.
happen.
It's usually a Title IX deal, yeah.
Yeah, it is odd that they don't have a team. There's not too many. I wouldn't think there's too many Power 5 teams without baseball, is there?
I think there's more in the Big Ten than you might think. That was 1,000% off base. I don't know for sure, but I think some of it's also like the legit ability to play. Like their
point.
season starts in March.
It does. You have to play majority of your games on spring break. I think they're the only Big Ten school without baseball, but I know there's other Power 5 schools. I don't think there's very many, but there's a few.
There's a few.
I was going to say there definitely won't be teams in the SEC that don't because it's insanely popular right there. It's a huge revenue builder.
They'll draw 5,000
and sell.
All right.
think that's
Which
about
would
as
help
Badger
the
fan.
bottom line, and which would you rather have at the University of Wisconsin? Men's baseball or men's volleyball?
That's a good question. I mean, the bottom line, I think, is definitely. Well, I should say
There's more revenue to be
volleyball.
made in volleyball.
I think
imagine.
because you can watch in the winter. It's indoor sport. It's a popular sport.
Already have a
So
women's
is baseball.
I was going to
But
say,
burgeoning,
especially if I know that Kelly Sheffield's going to coach,
Yeah.
and they're going to be good. I'm going to go volleyball.
Kelly going to be working overtime.
Can we just see like
That's
we
like
load
saying
up on that
Mark
guy?
Johnson's going to be the men's hockey coach.
Listen, both
Right?
Well, at least he can help. He can mentor. We can be in the
Well,
building.
I'm just saying.
Kind of like Mark Johnson gives a little bit of advice to Mike Hastings and then brings up all rising tide, lifts all boats.
It'd be like JV varsity, right? The men would play at 3:30 in the afternoon, and then the women in prime.
Well, that's
time.
what we did. Yeah, that's what I did on JV. The reality is both would lose money, though. They'd both lose money.
Oh, yeah.
They'd both lose money, and they'd both be
Like I said, all
side-eyed.
the non-revenue sports. Now, the other thing about that is like the way the Big Ten is now, is it's coast to coast for the non-revenue
Coast
sports. Like if you're going to a gymnastics meet and UCLA's at Rutgers, what are we doing? Like,
Well,
why
that's
shouldn't
part of
they
the problem, though.
put the Pac-10 back together for the non-revenue sports and let them stay regional and travel by van
Yeah.
Well,
and
that's-
not have to like fly across the
But
country?
that's always been the problem with the conference expansion. Is it made no sense and was
It doesn't make any sense outside of the
obtuse and
bigger,
expensive for everybody except
outside
for
of the big
football.
revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside
sports.
of basketball and football,
Which
like,
make
it's
money.
very difficult to roll through. But we're still going to make all our decisions off the money, and those
That's what it
sports
is.
bring in way too much
Yeah.
money for it to
Hey.
change. I think right now
That's why Rutgers is in the league. New York City market. Bring that money in.
we
Remember how
needed to get
upset they were?
Piscataway.
They were so excited. They were like, "We're gonna have the Big Ten tournament in Madison Square Garden." I'm like, "That ain't gonna work." I mean, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't. Rutgers isn't gonna do anything for you.
They did it one year, didn't they?
I don't think people are
The
walking
Big Ten
around.
tournament.
People are walking around Midtown Manhattan talking
And
about.
Armen was
Iowa
so
and Nebraska.
mad.
Well, it's just ridiculous. That's the Big East tournament. Everyone knows that.
I'm
So
with you.
Everyone can have their thing.
Yeah, I'm with
Why,
you.
why not?
They still do that. The Big Ten, don't they? Bounce or they went to Washington one year.
They should be in Indianapolis or Chicago.
I agree.
every year.
Indiana. I would stay in Indianapolis every single year because that's the
It's
best
okay.
atmosphere. Because
I
you're
well-
surrounded by things to do downtown.
Well,
United
Chicago-
Center's fine, but you know
Okay.
it's more expensive, and you're kind of out on out west. And
That's true, but you do have the crazy amount of Big Ten alumni fan bases in Chicago from
Yeah.
every Big Ten school. So I don't really know. I mean, I guess either is fine. I mean, it's just my opinion. I don't make the rules.
I think they're holding it in L.A. I think in the near future.
Makes a
you're
lot
right.
of sense. When I think of Big Ten, I think of Westwood. You know,
So that's
There
just
you
it.
go.
So if the games normally start at 11 a.m., are they going to start at 9 a.m. California time? The worst part about living out there the whole time I was out there was dragging my hungover ass out of bed at 8:30 on a Saturday morning to watch Big Ten football.
It's so tough.
Now, the great
uh,
thing is Monday Night Football started at like 5,
That's
5:30.
amazing.
That was awesome. Getting up for the morning show. That was amazing.
Even better, Dolph. March 8th through the 12th, 2028, men's basketball tournament for the Big Ten will be hosted at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.
In Vegas.
Oh.
all right, I can make an exception.
I think we might be able to go find that one. I think we might have to go
Armen.
and see how that works out.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
See you live. at
Dolph, thank you
Toshiba
for
Park.
popping by. We appreciate it as
Thanks, fellas.
always. It means we're on to the back half. We'll make our halftime adjustments and have a better second half than the U.S. men's national team did last night in Seattle.
Hardly
You're
worse.
in the huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen huddled up on a Tuesday in the good land. Reach us on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. Covered a lot of ground so far on the program. More to get to. Hunter Baumgardt joins us at 7:25 to talk a little Brewers. Time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Last night was a no AC night at Stately Olson Manor. Of course,
glorious, wasn't it?
Interrupted by the fireworks at 11 o'clock, pissing me off.
Glorious.
But no need for AC, but you're going to need it again. It's going to get hot again. We just had a week where it was pretty brutal. And if you are in need of a tune-up, an adjustment, an install, Donovan Jorgensen is a place. 40 years of employee ownership, DonovanJorgensen.com. Billy, who you got for Who's Hot, Who's Not?
Let me start out with a Who's Not here for Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling, and it might lead right to a Milwaukee Brewer taking a stranglehold on the Cy Young. Christopher Sanchez, not hot yesterday for the Philadelphia Phillies. 3 1/3 innings pitched, 12 hits, 9 runs, all of those 9 earned, gave up 3 bombs across just 86 pitches. And Sanchez, this slide kind of started against the Brewers a couple of weeks ago on that June 14th Sunday when the Brewers tagged him for 4 earnings and hit 2 bombs off of him for 6 1/3. He did throw a 1-run 6-inning outing in between there and a 7 shutout against the Pirates. But smack dab in the middle, 5 innings, 5 runs given up against the Washington Nationals. His ERA is ballooning, Drew, all the way to 2.62. But Christopher Sanchez was neck and neck. He was the guy that gave up 1 less run, no runs than Miz to edge him out for pitcher of the month in the month of May, and he has quickly slid just a tick. Also in the hot category, we're going to put Shane Drowan yesterday. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, but only 1 of those bad boys earned. I thought he was really good after the disastrous 3rd inning. Gave up obviously the run in the 6th, but his ability to chew off some innings was massive. And you want to talk about ERA? Don't look now. My man's under 3.
Yeah, come on now.
And since he's been a starter, he's been one of the bigger reasons why they've been able to help. Offense was hot in the nation's capital last night. Nats 12, Astros 11 in a slugfest for the ages that also saw 6 bombs get hit, but surprisingly none by Yordan Alvarez.
You don't see many of those games where both teams are in double digits anymore. Pitching's just too good.
100%. You can't string together that many.
Yeah, it used to be like you'd get once every couple of weeks you'd see 13-10 or something like that. Not anymore.
100%. And James Wood goes yard with a granny last night, 446 feet. I hope he's in the home run derby. Drew, who's hot? Do you think one man that is hot? He's going to the All-Star game again as the commissioner's pick. Bryce Harper.
Little olive branch.
I was gonna say, is that a who's hot? And let's try to calm this thing down and let's not be too angry next year when we do these negotiations.
Revlon makeup call.
Rob Manfred. Hey, Bryce, don't worry. I forgive you. I forgive you. You're in the All-Star game because of me. I can only imagine Bryce hot that he's in the All-Star game. Might not like exactly why he's there, but
clown question, bro. That is Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Portion of this program brought to you by our friends at Game Day Men's Health. Check them out online, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Find a clinic near you. Sign up for the free no obligation consults. See if they can change your life as they've done for many. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Hunter joins us at 7:25. Still buying and selling. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers frankly didn't play all that well Monday in their series opener at St. Louis. The top of the order struggled at the plate, and their usually solid defense had some lapses. Still, when it counted,
Liner in a deep right center. It is going to be down. Maybe all three score. Tour and Pratt being held. Hamilton held at second base. The Brewers are right back in it.
Jeff Levering on Brewers TV with the call. Milwaukee scoring all of their runs in the top of the seventh. The Brewers beating the Cardinals 4-3. That was game one of a 5-game series. There are 2 scheduled for today and tonight. To the World Cup, where it was fun while it lasted. Team USA falls to Belgium 4-1. They are eliminated. The Belgians will take on Spain Friday in Los Angeles. That's because in the early match on Monday, the Spaniards blanked Portugal 1-0. Cristiano Ronaldo plays his final World Cup match in the loss. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get out now, and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmidt,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Rolling through a Tuesday in the good land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Drew Olson along with Bill Schmidt and Armen Sarian bringing it to you. NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973 if you'd like to join the party here. And why is Armen giving me the high sign?
I just really want to. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract you or stop you, but I really want to get this in. We got Paulie G on YouTube who wanted to announce. I guess we had a new member, we had a new listener in the 7 o'clock club watching the Huddle from the hospital with my newborn Connor. Getting him started early.
Let's go, Paulie.
Let's go. Okay, can we do Hero of the Day for him or something like that?
Superhero of the Day.
Yeah, new baby Connor, Superhero of the Day. Call current.com because you're going to have to light up that beautiful nursery that you have at home. It's not going to be as illuminated as the hotel, I say hotel because the hospital room does kind of turn into a hotel when you're in that birthing suite.
Yeah.
You're in a hotel version of a hospital when they're bringing you food and they're calling you, make sure that you order dinner. So Paulie, enjoy it. It gets only better from here. Don't let anybody tease you. But yeah, Connor is our superhero of the day. Call current.com. Solar panels to make some money, put some money back in your pocket, and put some money in Connor's college fund. Call current.com.
Sorry to distract. Sorry to surprise you.
I'm
there.
glad
I
you
didn't
did.
mean to do it that way.
Armen, it made me think we were having technical difficulties
bad.
or something.
But I want to say baby Connor probably was arriving at 5. I don't know for sure, but I'm putting him in the 5 o'clock club. Baby Connor is number 64.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
Connor.
All right, baby Connor's in. Come on now.
I was just excited.
Call
about
current.com, our Current Electric superhero. Now, he's going to get ready, and it's funny because I think Mariah Antetokounmpo mentioned it in her farewell letter. And I don't know.
Still trying to get through it all here.
You got multiple kids, but that drive home with the newborn is always a white knuckler.
Different level, dude.
Yeah.
Different
I always tell
level.
people that's when you're an adult. That's when adulthood hits, is when you drive home with your wife and newborn baby from the hospital. And she referenced that driving on Lake Drive, driving those kids home from the hospital.
I had never had the actual 10 and 2 until I tried my third swing at the driver's test when I was 16. There was no way I was messing this one up. And I'm going like 12 under the speed limit down Lake Drive coming back from Columbia St. Mary's. That was a dicey one. That's a different level of nervousness.
Same thing for me. Lars got the GPS. I'm like, you got me messed up if you think I'm taking the freeway right now. We're going nice and slow. Fog hat, slow ride. Take it easy.
Yep.
We're not taking any freeways. We're going nice and slow here. So yeah, that's a wild one.
That was a cool post that she put together, Drew, because like I said, I'm still kind of getting through it because
it was long.
We're doing the show and it's very, very well put together. But right at the end, I love this piece. My husband may have left his mark on Milwaukee's history, but Milwaukee will forever be the greatest chapter of our love story. And you realize then the real stuff and the human side of a lot of this.
But then Giannis also said, I think to Neon, great reporter that he is, he said that like Mariah met him in Miami and he knew she was going to be his wife, and that so they kind of had a little spark there.
Yeah, spark started there and then transformed, and then they grew their entire family here. I appreciated the conversation with Jim. I thought Paschke was phenomenal, by the way. Like Jim had a microphone in front of me. He's still going to be as good as anybody. But talking about like being scared of change, that's some real stuff. That's something that a lot of people do go through in this moment. But when you start wondering if the grass is always greener, I kind of thought it was interesting to hear him put together in almost like the deadline on his career. He's like, I want to do this for 6 more years.
Yeah, basically.
He's like 37, 38. I want to do 20 years and then I'm going to be done. And then I'm going to enjoy the rest of the time with my life. 37, 38 used to be a hell of a career.
Yeah.
Now it's like, why are you wrapping up so early?
So early.
And it again puts a little bit more, I think, clarity into what a lot of us thought. He might have a little bit shorter shelf life. He might think his real prime of his career is rolling into the back 9, if not a little closer to that than you think.
I just hit Billy with one of those weird anniversary posts. I just saw it. It was 10 years ago today that Kevin Durant signed with the Warriors.
That's hard to believe it's been that long. It feels like yesterday, at least for me.
Oh, I thought it was, I felt like it was way longer ago.
Really? Okay. See, I guess that's
I felt it seemed like it seems like longer ago to me because
Yeah.
of all the things that have happened since then and stuff.
I guess that's true, but
He's been on 3 teams.
Yeah, you're right. All this is true. I don't know why it felt like to me, I would have guessed maybe I would have said 7 or 6 or something like that, but it is wild to think how that can. And you're right. I mean, we expect careers to be longer now in this league just because everyone's done it. I mean, LeBron was the first kind of to break that, but they had been changing as we got throughout the 2000s. The guys taking care of their bodies better, becoming more physical specimens. Maybe Kobe as well. You know, the reality is the biggest difference is if you go back and look at great players of our youth, or, maybe a generation before, a lot of them were retiring or not playing as long as you expected. I made that point with Giannis. We got 13 years in Milwaukee. That's what Magic and Larry played in their cities. So
did KD, when he went there, it was like the year later that LeBron left Cleveland for LA? That like it was within.
They would have played.
It was like I felt like it was a domino. Like he went and then
they played in back-to-back finals against them. So they got beaten 5 and then beaten 4. So I think he left in 2 years.
So 2 years.
Yep.
So 2 years later, and LeBron just wrapped up 8 years with the Lakers,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know. Does that seem that long, or is it to me that seems like a a shorter span. His time with the Lakers seems shorter than the time for KD. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't say 10 to 8. Seems like way longer. There's a bigger gap in between.
The other mind melt there is LeBron's tenure with the Lakers, I believe, is his longest stay with any organization. Right? Like he ends up playing with the Cavs longer because he goes back.
Right, because he did 7 years the first run and then went to Miami. He was only in Miami, 4 or 5?
Only in Miami for 4 years, 2 wins, 2 losses, and then right back to Cleveland for 4 and 4 more trips to the finals. And then goes to LA. And there's a lot to, I definitely thought he was going to just retire as a Laker, but it seems like he's going to play multiple more years. Like it doesn't seem like he is close, Drew, to wrapping it up or deciding that he wants to end all things. And
I'd be surprised if he pushes it to 2. I think 2 is the ceiling for me, for him. 2 more.
Yep.
But I think he might be 1 and done, depending on what the team he goes to does.
Because right now he's 41. He plays 2 more years. He'll have 25 years in the NBA.
That's wild.
Good round number.
That's
Incredible.
A round number. That's the cap, and it would be
stuff no one's ever done.
That's the thing. It would be something no one's ever done, and it would be a cap on one of the greatest careers of all time, if not the greatest, counting career and longevity career, because he's put so much time in there. It is, though, cool to witness as somebody that has been a fan of his for a long time. He's 41 years old, and people are still talking about what team is he going to go make a title contender.
That's amazing. It's like
the last thing you would think of when he goes to free agency at 41 is, it actually is tipping the scales. But he's still one of the, at worst, 30 best players in the league.
Exactly.
So he's whatever team he ends up rolling onto. And I am definitely selling. Really hope it ain't the Heat. Really hope it's not the Heat.
I'm with you.
Because I think that would be a nice pairing. But he's getting into the ring chasing version of his career. And I know some people will put a knock towards it. I just think it's fascinating that he can tip the scales at this day and age, and that whatever team he ends up rolling to is going to leap into the top 5 into odds on to win the title.
And this is where I think when you really look back at history, the longevity part being so impressive, I don't think Kareem gets as much credit sometimes as he deserves. And they talk about GOATs just because Kareem played in a very difficult era to play as long as he did. He was the one guy that bucked that trend that was really good, really great, I should say, for so long. Because Kareem played till he was 41. And yeah, he didn't start in the NBA until he was 22, but he played, a lot in college, important games, important years in college. And it was just so rare back then for a guy to play that long. And the fact that Kareem was doing it throughout his late 30s to the level he did, winning championships with the Lakers, was so rare. And, LeBron's obviously broken the mold in a lot of ways, and a lot more guys are going to be playing closer to 40 now. But when Kareem did that, right, Drew, I was like, nobody did that. Like that was shot. And to the level he played, I think he was top 5 in MVP when he was like 38 or 37. That's just impressive. And it just makes you appreciate that much more, because obviously we talk about the cryo chamber, the cryotherapy chamber and the nutrition and the travel and how many things you can do now to help your body and to maintain it. And Kareem, that era didn't have any of that. So it's just something to look back and appreciate as well.
877-794-1973 gets us to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Hunter Baumgart's going to join us about 15 minutes from right now. Talk about the Brewers' uplifting victory, which was a nice little life preserver, if you will.
It was, Drew. It was a good thing to at least hang the hat on yesterday.
Team, yeah. And imagine this. Imagine being bummed about like David Hamilton going on the injured list. Our Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury report. It certainly looks like he's headed for the IL today. I would think Jet Williams is probably the leading candidate to come up and replace him with a doubleheader today.
That would make the most sense. I think your logic's
might
not
be
flawed.
Seeing him make his Brewers debut. But yeah, orthowisconsin.com, the website, to learn about the best care you can find anywhere in the area. World-class care right here in our backyard. Clinic in Johnson Creek, Pewaukee, Brookfield. Check them out, orthowisconsin.com. Dr. Matthew Bong and team took care of my hip. Maybe someday I'll go and get the other one replaced because they did such a good job and it was so wonderful and life-changing. So check out orthowisconsin.com. For all your orthopedic needs. If you have a sports injury or one of your youngsters has one,
they'll help you out there too. Yes.
Go visit orthowisconsin.com.
That win yesterday, Drew, we put the old school first takey question. How many wins do the Brewers need to get in this 8-game stretch to be able to stay in first place past the All-Star break? But going 4-4 felt like a good place to be able to be. And last night, stealing that one, snatching it away with the doubleheader here that you're staring down the barrel of. I almost wondered into the 8th inning if Murph was going to try to roll Patrick again. And if he, with the 2 games coming up today, still got to play 7 games in 6 days, if they were going to try to hold back, because now McGill's pitched in 3 of the last 4 games. He's been out there for a number of different days, so I would assume he's fully down today at least. And that was another big inning. Mentioned it with Shane Drowan. Patrick being able to eat up that 8th inning was kind of one of those unsung things to be able to save the pen just a little bit here today after he swiped that lead back.
Statman Steve has a question on the talk and text line, 877-794-1973. Shout out Russell Nicolay.
Okay.
He wants to know, since Giannis had mentioned he might wear number 7 and not 34. I think that's cool because then 34 is a Bucks thing.
Yeah, I like that too.
Actually kind of dig it.
Make us special.
He wants to know who are the greatest number 7s in sports.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you're of a certain vintage, it's Mickey Mantle, and that's the end of the discussion.
Mickey Mantle, number 7, the Mick. I would say Elway maybe in football.
I would say Elway in football. Kevin Durant, we just mentioned.
Yeah, Kevin Durant, and I mean the 7 is synonymous for us because that means that the foot was on the line. Like a lot of his worst exploits were in that 7. The 35 was where he was probably even better at.
Given where we are in the landscape and what we've been talking about, I think that Mr. Ronaldo has a claim to be a famous number
he'd be
7.
in there as well.
He's one of the GOATs, obviously.
Are you putting Roethlisberger and Vic in the discussion?
Well, I was going to say Vic more than Roethlisberger. Now 7 in Pittsburgh is synonymous there. Mike Vick, though, was just so insane so early that I see him running in that number 7 Atlanta Falcons jersey so much. That one immediately does pop into my mind, albeit I know he's probably not even in the top 10.
Well, he changed the game in a lot of ways. There's no question about it. You talk about sometimes how, you can't tell the story of this game without so-and-so. Whatever you feel about Vic, and I don't know if you'd put him as an all-time great, but he definitely changed the game. He changed the way quarterbacks are looked at, the way the game's been played. It sounds silly to say, but he was such an impact in Madden that he changed the way a lot of people view his career because a lot of kids grew up dominating with him in Madden, and that was so ubiquitous with the culture.
100%, Armen.
So that's a big thing as well. I mean, you weren't allowed to play with Michael Vick because he was unstoppable.
Yeah.
For my buddy Tom Hecker, the pride of Cudahy, Wisconsin, I have to say Pete Maravich.
Yeah, because I can't
think
of
his favorite players of all time.
I can't think of many other number 7s.
Carmelo Anthony.
I struggled not going right to Mickey Mantle, and that's
the guy.
A hell of a testament to how he was. That we're saying that 70, 80 years after he played.
Early on,
no one compares in America at least to me.
Tiny Archibald. Nate Archibald.
I like that one for a Tiny. Come on now.
Tiny.
I can't think of many number 7s in basketball.
You throw Elway in there, that's probably a pretty good one.
I think that's
Randall Cunningham.
Good player. Very good player.
Mm-hmm. Also, he wore 12 for a while, too.
He wore a couple numbers, yeah.
He wore a couple. 7 was when he was with the Vikings.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a comeback tour.
Yeah, a lot of people thought he was done, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, he's phenomenal
he took a year
still
off,
again.
I think.
Yeah, I don't love that.
And then a good year.
Hall of Famer Joe Mauer.
All right.
Armen, what about Joe Mauer?
Great player.
One of the great thank you for bringing up Joe Mauer's name here, Drew. One of the great American athletes in the Midwest of all time, Joe Mauer. Because he was an insane football player when he was younger. Yeah. Then all of a sudden just decided that he was going to catch and play baseball, and first ballot Hall of Famer. Right? First ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
First ballot.
Yeah.
I'll say I came
deserving Hall of Famer?
Legitimate Hall of Famer. Deserving.
I'm just like, we're letting this go, and Statman Steve asks us for great number 7s, and the text line is rolling like the stock ticker saying Don Majkowski.
Of course, the Magic Man. I mean, well, we asked for the greatest now in sports. Now we can talk about now we're talking about our favorite ones.
A couple of years,
and the Magic Man. I don't know why his jealous boyfriends. And then we have a couple Don Money shots here, that Kenosha Kid.
Don Money, the great
Money as
Money.
well.
There were a number of Don Majkowski jerseys at the Waukesha Sports Cards card show last weekend.
Oh, nice.
that we were at. A lot of number 7 jerseys autographed.
Boyfriends and stuff they're still wearing them. So
I didn't see a ton.
Yeah,
but there were a number of those. There were that was one of the funnier events to see the amount of different jerseys that you would see. I didn't know necessarily that I would see an Ed Cedar signed jersey, but once I saw that bad boy there, you better believe that bag might be being thrown into the bin. We're going to need that one.
When Ed Cedar signs a jersey or an autograph, does he have to like do something special with two hands, like to signify the two-hand wave?
The Joe DiMaggio wave.
DiMaggio.
The foul line introductions, always a highlight.
Fun fact, Mickey Mantle first came up with number 6. Isn't that true, Drew, when they first gave him number 6?
I think so.
And then he got sent down, and then he wanted number 7. Because it was the pressure of having to follow. They gave it to him because he was the next one. It was Ruth 3, Garrick 4, DiMaggio 5. And they put the pressure on him with 6. And I don't think he liked that or something like that. There's some story about that, I think. So you can fact check me in text line if I'm wrong, but I believe you wore number 6.
One of my definite favorite Milwaukee Bucks did rock that number 7. Ersan Ilyasova.
Very underrated player.
Ersan Ilyasova.
Very
one
underrated
of the better
Buck.
guys.
Yeah, one of the better long-term Bucks. Almost saved the Bucks, I would say, in Toronto in Game 6. I mean, he had a monster game against the Raptors in the unfortunate loss in 2000.
He did everything he could. He did everything he could.
Great game.
He's a hilarious human being too, by the way. I mean, there were not many funnier guys when he came over at 23 years old than Ersan Ilyasova. So there was a definite buddy the outfield we all know with Giannis. Ersan learned a lot about America very, very quickly too. He had himself a very fun indoctrination into America. That's for sure. He got welcomed very well. It was just a good time to be around number 7 in Sector 7 too. After Bogut got shipped off, somebody had to buy that fan section, Drew, because Bogut started the squad 6, and then all of a sudden Ersan's like, well, I guess I'll do it. I guess I'll do it. Yeah, I guess I'll do it. I just signed a decent little contract. I'll jump over here. I'll help you guys out.
I also feel they wanted it to be an overseas guy, because that was kind of like the European fan section style for a while that no one else did. And it was, of course, Bogut. He was Australian, obviously. And it's like, all right, Ersan will do it. It is what we do overseas. We have like a hooligan section, which I loved. I love that. Brought energy to the Bradley Center when it was sorely needed. I don't know how. I mean, that was the whole idea behind it. And, it worked.
It definitely worked.
It did. Yep.
Definitely worked. All right. We've covered more bases. When we come back, we'll talk Brewers. Hunter Baumgart's going to join us. What do they do with David Hamilton likely headed for the IL? What does pitching look like? What are the expectations for Miz today? Game 1 of a doubleheader. This is the hump. This is it's not hump day till tomorrow, but the Brewers will get over a hump playing these 2 games. And then you can start to think about the finish line.
Mm-hmm. And get close
a little bit.
Yep.
And then you got to grind out the rest. Pittsburgh's going to be a real grinder this weekend. But we will talk and Janny and Appleton will be there.
Come on, Janny. She's going to help us out, get some wins. Because otherwise, that place is a house of horrors going into the break, Drew.
Absolutely. Hunter Baumgardt joins us live next. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I can tell you, I would never name my child Soda.
Oh, no. No, of course not. I got a great name for our kids. A real original. You want to hear what it is? Yeah? You ready?
Yeah. What is that, sign language?
7.
7 Costanza. You're serious?
Yeah. It's a beautiful name for a boy or a girl, especially a girl or a boy.
I don't think so.
Well, you don't like the name?
It's not a name. It's a number.
I know. It's Mickey Mantle's number. So not only is it an all-around beautiful name, it is also a living tribute.
It's awful. I hate it.
Well, that's the name.
Oh, no, it is not. No child of mine is ever going to be named 7.
All right, let's just stay calm here. Don't get all crazy on me.
Huddled up on a Tuesday, Drew, Billy, and Armen. Let's welcome to the party our baseball go-to guy, our pal Hunter Baumgardt, joining us this morning. Good morning, Hunter.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're ready to watch a doubleheader.
Yeah, not very often we get one of these, but especially when Miz is pitching the first one, makes it a little more intriguing, especially on the day game side.
Pretty good comeback victory for the Brewers last night. One of those character wins. They've had a few of these.
No doubt. They have been able to just scratch and claw and get wins when it may look a little bleak at times, especially with how they've been hitting with runners in scoring position over the last couple of weeks. But they're able to just find a way to win. The bullpen has been really exceptional. I mean, you look at the weekend in Arizona, 17 2/3 innings they covered. They only allowed 2 earned runs. It was really good again last night. That bullpen has been really, I think, the main reason over the last few days that team has been able to win. Even some of the games in that Red series, I think they deserve a lot of credit for a win or two in that series last week too. So it is really, I mean, they're working these guys a lot. McGill's now pitched in 4 out of the last 6 days. So you're starting to work these guys more and more, and you hope that doesn't diminish what they get last night or what they give you on the mound. Chad Patrick going 2 innings last night was huge because you don't use Ashby, you don't use Uribe. They can be more fresh for today when you're going to need all hands on deck in a doubleheader.
Yeah, and you have to stack wins in those situations, right? Because you can go through these issues with you having to use players and go through the grind, but if you can do it while winning, that you're at least stacking wins when some of the lean times might come. It's no different than just trying to bottle up canned vegetables for the winter, right? It's the same situation. And if you can stack wins, well, you're preparing for a possible downtime if you are going to be struggling with.
How many cases of bottled water do you buy before a snowstorm?
I don't mean bottled
water. If you're saving up cans throughout the year for the winter, what are we doing on that kind of hold on
the frontier during difficult times would do that, right, Hunter? And this is what they're doing.
Yeah, when the weather gets cold and you don't want to go out in it, you want to have the cans of corn in the cupboard, and that's what the Brewers are doing. Last night was a can of corn win.
Thank you.
For the Milwaukee Brewers. Was that good?
I'll give that, Bill. That was well done. Well done trying to walk yourself right back out of that one. That was proud of you for being able to get there. But you mentioned Patrick and not having to tax the bullpen. I thought there was going to be a moment if they could have tacked on in the ninth, I think they definitely would have felt like maybe you stretch this thing and try to see if Patrick can finish this thing out, because we mentioned it today. I would assume you throw Miz first because you want to have a full understanding of who's ready to go going into game number 2. If indeed that turns a little bullpen-esque with Gasser there. Did you have that thought last night? Like maybe they're going to try to see if they can run Patrick out here one more time if they would have tacked on?
For sure. I mean, another run would have been huge in that 9th inning. Heck, another run would have been huge in that 4-run inning, because every one of those was huge as far as setting up your bullpen for today. I thought maybe in some world, maybe they do leave Patrick out there and let him try to go 3 innings and eat that, especially because he was cruising, and his last 3 games coming in had been really good. He had given up a run in 5 of 6 outings, but since then he's gone about 8 or so innings, 4 games, and he has not allowed a run, and he's been really good over his last 4 games, which is really good news. And I think the other part of that, though, is he only throws 2 innings last night. He hadn't thrown since Friday. I think he could also give you an inning or 2 today if you don't use him last night in the 9th. So I think it's kind of you kind of, okay, you know what, we could use him for 1 more inning, but then maybe he'd be burned for tomorrow, and maybe he's meaning today, and maybe he's one of our length guys that we could put in for an inning or 2 today. So that might have been some of the calculus. And of course, McGill's the closer, and he's been lights out, hasn't been scored upon in his last 13 outings, and he's really been good. Like a ERA around 1.3 over his last 30 outings. That's really, really good. He's been just exactly what the doctor ordered for the Brewers when it comes to that closer role after those couple of hiccups in April, and he's been a lot better. So I agree. It would have been going into last night's game. I think I said it on the pregame show. Like this team needs a blowout. Like this team needs a runaway 9-3 victory at some point here. They're just not getting them. They're winning games, but these are all really close games.
Winning games. Talking to Hunter Baumgardt here, our baseball go-to guy, brought to us by Import Minded, your trusted auto experts, 27th Street, just north of 894. Winning games a blowout. You got to score a lot of runs to do that. It's hard to score a lot of runs when the top of the order isn't producing. Didn't produce last night. And Christian Yelich is starting to catch a lot of strays
big time
online from folks because he is the mayor of Slump City right now. Hunter, what are you seeing from his at-bats? And then, people say, well, he still takes his walks, which he does. But, well, when he starts hitting the ball the other way with authority, that's when you know he's about to come out of it. You've watched Yelich a long time. What are you seeing?
It's just, when he's going at the plate, it's just everything seems very smooth. It feels like there's not a ton of swing and miss. It feels like there's a lot of swing and miss right now. It feels like he's just, you can see the confidence isn't necessarily there. It just doesn't flow. And it seems like it's just not flowing for him. When Murph was asked about it last homestand, he's like, yeah, he's certainly not at his best right now. He's very blunt about it. And I think that just shows, Murph respects Yelly maybe more than anybody, in that clubhouse, in the organization. He's been there since Yelly got to Milwaukee. And so I think watching him struggle is tough for Pat Murphy, obviously tough for the Brewers. It's very key to have him there. I don't know how they shifted the lineup a little over the weekend. They pulled him out of the leadoff spot. They put him at the 2 spot, put him at the 3 spot. I thought maybe that would be something. Maybe you try to, put Terang up there, Churio up there, depending on who's starting on the mound. Terang now has a 9-game hitting streak, so that's good. And he obviously had the game-winning knock last night, so it's good to see him coming around over the last couple of weeks. That's just huge for the Brewers offense, especially when Yelich isn't doing well. But, you just look at what he's doing in July. In his 5 games, he has a 0.53 batting average. You look at where his batting average was, say, in mid-June, it got all the way up to 287 on June 9th. And it's currently at 239 for the season. So you're talking less than a month. It's went from 287 to 239, and it just does not look good right now. And as much as you want him in the leadoff spot, I don't know if it's best for the team right now. Now I don't know if it's also best for the team to put him at the 2, 3, or 4 either, because then if Terang gets on. Is he really a run-producing guy right now? Either, I don't know. And then it's like, okay, who do you put in your top 4 instead? Do you put Garrett Mitchell up there? It's another lefty, and obviously he's been much hotter over the last month or so, and he's been incredibly solid this season as a whole. So maybe that's the switch they go with. At what point do they do that? Is that an after All-Star break thing? Do they give him, that week? So there's a lot to be figured out there, but right now it's just not working for him.
Is there any chance now granted you can't right now because you're in 8 games in 7 days in the longest stretch that you had. Would there be a way of you just crowbar around a little extended rest? Right. I don't know how it plays out exactly in time with the injury, but this is a maintenance thing for a guy that's into his 30s and going to hopefully get the best swings in his season at the tail end. Yeah. Would there be any thought of that, Hunter? Or is it just he's ready? He's there every day that we're going to go up against a right-hander, no doubt about it. Most days against a lefty, either way, because it's a difficult balance. This isn't just any other player. This is there's not a C on his jersey. There could be. He's the captain of the team, and he's the main guy. That it's a delicate one. You ask it you put him in the 2, 3, or 4 hole. You can't just throw him in the 7. I know a lot of people would say you just toss him down in the bottom of the lineup, hit him 9th. You can't do that with a certain status, a certain player, because the rest of the room just doesn't read it that same way, right?
Right, I would think so. And I think if the All-Star break wasn't coming, I would say yes, sit him for a couple days, see what happens. But like you said, with the 8 games in 7 days, with the All-Star break right around the corner here and just 6 days away, I don't know if this is a time to do the rest. Maybe you just play it out throughout this week and see what happens. And then maybe, hope that the All-Star break kind of turns things around for him and give him that rest then. Not that he won't get a day. Today, I wouldn't be surprised if he's only in one of these lineups. I would think that he's going to play 1 game today. And so, you'll see a different kind of iteration maybe in that other game of the lineup. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe you give him Thursday too. Maybe you put in a couple of off days here in these last, whatever it is, 7 games in 6 days, and then see what happens. But overall, I don't think you're in a position, just because of the long period here without an off day and the All-Star break is right around the corner. You say, all right, let's just get to the finish line here of the metaphorical first half. And then, okay, the All-Star break is behind us, and let's see how he comes out. And then if he's still struggling, maybe you do say, okay, let's give him a couple days if that's the case.
And you can afford to let him kind of work through it now in your lineup because you're able to win anyway. So that's helpful. I was hopeful with the home run the other night that would kind of break him out of it a little bit. He did hit a ball hard to second last night. That was really a bullet, but it didn't. So, usually I would expect what do you think, Hunter? When he starts to walk a little bit more, that's when he starts to see the ball better. Do you think that's the first indication he'll come out of it?
Yeah, I would usually, but like you look at his last 5 games and he's got 4 walks. So it's he's walked in 3 of those 5 games. And so it's happening, but I don't know. The thing that always concerns me the most when you watch him at the plate is when he's rolling over to second base consistently. That's the telltale sign that he's just not rolling because he's not driving it.
Let's talk hamstrings, Hunter. David Hamilton last night looks like a very likely IL stint. Is Jet Williams is he the break glass in case of emergency? Is he the guy that gets the call?
It would be interesting for sure. Well, he's got to get a 40-man spot. So that's the interesting part about him being called up. And I was just before I got on, I was just combing through that 40-man roster. What could they do? I mean, maybe moving a guy to the 60-day. I don't think they'll do that with Woodruff yet because I don't think you want to. You can't. You put a guy on 60-day IL right now and he's out till September. So you obviously can't necessarily afford that. I don't know if there's a guy who you guys think is an obvious choice. I mean, there's Akil Baddoo is on there. Some of those guys who maybe
isn't Lockridge a guy that's
is Lockridge 60-day or is he already on 15 still?
I think Lockridge is the guy because he's already been out.
That's a really good point. That I must have skipped over him in my studying here this morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be because he's been out since I think
he's already been out. 10. I think 60 days at this point, right?
Or really close.
Second week in
May.
It'll
be close, yeah. So
he got hurt, I believe, on May 8th. So that's almost exactly. So
almost exactly.
So I would think you're right. That would be the guy. Great point. So if that's the case, then Jet Williams, and look, he's got a 9-game hitting streak. He's hitting 350 over his last 10 games. June wasn't great for him though. He hit 205, but overall, in the last 10 games, he's hot, and he may be your only option.
With Woodruff shelved and questionable, obviously the Brewers were in the market probably for a starter before, but one of the things that crossed my mind and people have been pining for the Freddie Peralta reunion.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, given their abundance of infielders, Jet Williams is a nice player and having a good season at AAA, top 100 prospect. Would you ship him back to New York for Freddie Peralta right now?
And just keep Sprout.
Freddie pitched last night.
You
get half of what you got, but 4 2/3 last night for Freddie, but he was calling his own game. I was reading Will Salmon's piece.
Mm-hmm.
He called his own game with the pitch count thing, which he's never done. The Mets have been wanting guys to do that, but he called his own game. He got a little bit, he picked up a mile an hour. He's had some mechanical difficulties, but having him back with Chris Hook and just the familiarity and just the reliability. And if the Mets want something for him, they should be able to get something for him, but he's not pitching that great. He would be a rental because he's looking at a contract. I don't know. Hunter, is that a pipe dream? I think it's a pipe dream, but it's one of those that's fun to entertain.
It's very fun to entertain and talk about and see if it could be possible. I would love it. I think it would be a blast because I do think he'd pitch better in Milwaukee than New York.
Absolutely.
I think, like you said, the familiarity of the pitching staff, right? The coaching staff as a whole, and obviously spending so many years here. I would think that he'd be better in a Brewers uniform. Not a guarantee, obviously, and you don't want to give up the farm for him because it is a rental, and he's not, although he's the worse he does, that price tag is going down. Not that it's necessarily in the Brewers range and what they're going to do, but I do think that it is going down. I would be intrigued at what it would take to get Freddie Peralta, because obviously it wouldn't take at this point, obviously it wouldn't take a Sprout and a Williams. Not that they do the exact trade, but
I think it'd be lower levels than that.
Yeah. And the great thing about picking up Freddie as opposed to, I don't know, Scooble and some other guys, Freddie only makes $8 million, so you're on the hook for $3.5.
It's almost
it's like nothing. I mean, maybe have the Mets pay him the rest of his salary, and you're getting him for free if you throw in another prospect.
Go with a little bit better prospect. And I think that's where you're at right now. You have such an abundance that you could,
it sure seems that way.
I would think more in player capital that way. And Hunter, it then would also allow you to make probably 2 to 3 moves, right? Because Drew and I are also in the same camp. They need a starter, they need a reliever, and then we'll talk about the offense, right? I think that's the spot where the arms right now is definite. And I don't know that you can just get away with one.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago or so, I think I was like, you know what, reliever for sure, and then we'll see about the rest of the team. I'm starting to get to reliever and starter, and then we'll see about the rest of the team, because it just, with Woodruff coming back and only pitching in 3 games, and then going back out with that same issue, that worries me. And like, as much as I want to see him healthy, as much as I thought, and had optimism that he would be healthy, and if If you only miss him for a month and a half and it's in May and June, so be it. We take that every day and have him for the rest of the year. Well, that didn't quite happen, and now we'll see what the doctor says. We'll see what the long-term plan is, because obviously, Pat Murphy said it right after the game that night. Like, we have to have a better plan of how we're going to attack this. And so he doesn't come back and then immediately has to go on the IL 3 starts in. So with that, and then knowing you obviously don't have Quinn Priester for the rest of the season, well, hopefully Logan Henderson comes back and is really good. But again, he's pretty inexperienced overall, and then we'll see what Coleman Crow does, also inexperienced. So I think you want that type of Freddie Peralta veteran guy. It's like he kind of fits the mold there in that rotation. Yeah. And then for sure a reliever too. You want, especially a leverage guy. Would love one more guy to fit in with Ashby, Uribe, and McGill, because as much as other guys, Patrick's pitching well. We saw some nice innings from Grant Anderson, including in extra innings over the weekend, but you want to have one more guy where you can really trust in that 7th and 8th innings before you get to McGill, and heck, can even close out a game sometimes too.
Well, listen, let's just make it the reunion tour and get Nick Mears back then.
There you go.
No, thanks.
No, thanks.
He's terrible.
I'm good with that. Bryce going to get added to the All-Star game before we talk to you again on Thursday, Hunter?
I think at some point he does. I think he's kind of the next guy, if the next Brewers player to have the best chance to get in. Maybe I know people were talking about Kyle Harrison as well, but I think and Jake Bauers, that's another one too. But I do think that he's the next guy, especially played for Team USA, kind of the popularity there. Look, at the end of the day, it is the game. We saw it last year with Miz. It's the game trying to showcase guys that are going to be intriguing. I think Bryce Terang is probably the most intriguing of the Brewers that are left and snubbed, so to speak. So I would be a little bit surprised if he's not added to the roster by the All-Star game. I don't know if it's by Thursday, but I think it's definite. I would think it's probably coming in the next 5-6 days.
There you go. Hunter is doing double duty today with us, and then the baseball pregame show, which is also a postgame show because there's a doubleheader today, and you get to talk about one game and then preview the next. Plenty on your plate. Hunter, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yeah, 5:30 this evening. Thanks, guys.
All right, Hunter Baumgardt. When we come back, we're waking and baking and closing up shop already. Time flies when you're having a good time, and time flies when you got Happy Place hemp products. Check them out. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off. Wake and Bake is next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Closing ceremonies have arrived. Time for our Wake and Bake story brought to us by HappyPlaceHemp.com. Check those guys out. Use the code Huddle and get 25% off and free shipping on anything you buy at HappyPlaceHemp.com. Works in the store or online. HappyPlaceHemp.com, code Huddle, 25% off plus free shipping. Billy, what you got?
Well, I got a couple of opportunities, and frankly, the number one Wake and Bake story is us all waking up believing that the USA was potentially going to win the World Cup. We all must have been baked at that point because they got absolutely cooked last night, 4-1 against Belgium. I'm not eating waffles for a month. Drew, it's not like an individual story. It's more of just the entire build up to it. I was watching late last night after the USA men's team got dookied. Watched the Brewers get a 4-3 win, come back. And then all of a sudden I sat down and realized that the Bucks were going to be taking on Darius Acuff Jr. and the Sacramento Kings in Summer League. All right, sweet. I was just in Vegas. Oh, it's not in Vegas.
California Summer League.
What's the California Classic Summer League? And then all of a sudden I tap onto another one, and it's folks playing at Utah's college gym. I didn't realize, and I thought all of a sudden I walked right up out of a dispo. I didn't realize there were this many summer leagues. So apparently there's still Vegas Summer League, but we're going to do multiple summer leagues before it. However, I enjoyed my watch last night of the first quarter of Bucks basketball. Braden Burries, after a day that he signs his first NBA contract, looks like an NBA player. Like, he looks like he'll be at least a solid role player at worst in his debut. But I'll tell you, Drew, I thought I was completely turned around. I had no clue how many summer leagues we had. There used to be an Orlando one, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, yeah.
And I think they're off the sheet. Now it's all over the place. And when I'm seeing Darren Peterson playing on the Utah floor, I was that's when I realized it was time for me to turn off.
Yeah, and the thing is, if Billy doesn't realize it, nobody does, because Billy's as locked in as anybody is to the sports.
I had no clue.
And I'm kind of with you. I knew Vegas Summer League was the thing, but I've never been someone to plug too deep into Summer League anyway, because I feel like Brewers are going on. Obviously, we have the World Cup. I'm glad those that are really into it do watch it, but I don't watch a lot unless I come across it by accident. But I would have never guessed California Summer League, Billy, to your point. So yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. It must be like, yeah, what year is this? Kind of, you wake up. I was
turned around. I was not anticipating that. However, it was decent last night. And the other Wake and Bake story of the day is Giannis, in the midst of the moment, that the incredibly well produced 36+ minute send off and farewell to the city of Milwaukee posted with Jim Paschke. He jumped on a Twitch stream with something called Neon. N3 Neon. And
these guys are.
The tougher thing is, Drew, he had him eat some Greek food with pork in it, not realizing that he was Muslim. Well, and there's it looked like there was a quick moment. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's pork in there. But so listen, we can all move on. But Giannis is still gonna be in our hearts. And as Jim Paschke said, Mr. Jim said yesterday, they'll always love you, Yanni.
Always.
And they will. Everybody here will always love him, and he'll always be welcomed home.
Absolutely. And hey, he's not ruling out a return one day. I love that too. So
yep. We covered a lot of ground today.
And 2,000 on the stream. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
now everybody tapping in with us, watching with us on YouTube.
Appreciate you. 5 o'clock clubbers, 6 o'clock clubbers, 7 o'clock clubbers. Tomorrow on the program, it's Hot Take Hump Day. We'll have a Brewers doubleheader to digest, and a
Miz start. Come on.
And another day closer to start of training camp. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you tomorrow.
Peace.